Yo, Moodcap, what's up? Hey, I'm good. I'm good. Uh, Hopefully the rest of you are also very well. I'm doing well myself. Hey, Parkway Lego, I see you in the chat. I saw you since the very beginning. Couldn't have made that mistake. Uh, I know. I don't know which one of you. Like, I know Far Cry Lego wanted us to play Doom for sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't know who else voted for Doom on YouTube because that's the one that won out uh, on YouTube Live. So, yes, we have some stuff to do today, which would be obviously play Doom, as you guys requested. I'm really curious to see how that's going to go for a slew of reasons. But also, I guess Far Cry Lego says this is the one to play. And yeah, I guess it is. There's multiple, well, technically there's so many games to play. And then Far Cry Lego says you play 2016 after 64. Right, of course. Because this is the classic one. We gotta start with the classics and slowly make our way up. And from, of course, if I like it, right? Because there's still the possibility that I might hate it or something. But I don't know. I think I'm open to playing this game. It was never at the top of my list, so I'm really curious to see how that's going to turn out. And you know, just watching this gameplay loop right now, while it's playing over the credits, it's kind of like it's odd. It's just it's what I expected it to be. At the same time, it's so different from what I expected. I saw a couple of clips online, and so you know, to kind of like I always watch those clips as a form of like, I guess like a history thing. It's like, okay, that's a classic Doom game. I should keep that in mind because it's obviously you have to know what Doom is if you're going to be a gamer with a capitalize or like one of those scribbly, what do you call those words that are, you know, how one letter in the word is uppercase and the second one is uppercase and another one is lowercase, and you know it's like a form of taunting somebody. That's essentially what I was trying to do, but yeah, it's like you gotta know what Doom is and whether you play the game or not. And so this is the weird part when you kind of go here and you look at, for example, add-ons. You look at that and you're like, I wonder what that is. You play it and then it's like, oh no, what is this? Bethesda, what did you do? So I'm playing it's the classic version of like, it's a remaster. Of course, the visuals have been upgraded to make it more appealing, I guess, to modern audiences, for modern audiences. And yeah, let's see what you guys are saying. Woodcap, you're saying, I'm still recovering from the disaster called Battlefront Classic Collection. Ooh, you know what? I was actually looking forward to that. I heard so many. I have a friend who is obsessed with the classic Battlefront games. He loves that series. And here's the thing. Should we just get into the game? Or, because I know there's like Zack Snyder commentary we didn't get last time. And I figured maybe that's a good way of kind of going back to it in this stream. But at the same time, it's like maybe we should just get into it and perhaps maybe later get into the Zack Snyder commentary, maybe watch some other stuff. I guess I'll leave that up to you guys. You know, it's like since the add-ons is actually mods. Oh, okay. Uh, so yeah, tell me if you want me to kind of just. Hey, Hosky on Twitch, I see you. I wish I had an All Might emote. Okay. Uh, see now when you say I wish I had an All Might emote, I don't know what to make of it because it's like I'm a noob when it comes to Twitch, even though I've been streaming on here for like 2 months now. No, wait, I started in February at the very start, and it's like a month and a half. Okay. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to do. I say play the game for a bit. Okay, cool. We'll do that. Sure. Plus, I wanted to tell you, like, there's like, I wanted to also show some other stuff that my friends showed to me in one of these private chats. They're like, hey, this might be cool. And I'm like, yeah, that might be cool to watch with you guys. Might be cool to watch with you guys during the stream. In that case, let's get into it. And I'm gonna have to ask you a question because there is an issue I'm gonna have. So new game, right? I'm definitely gonna need you guys to help me out. And then it says which episode, and I'm like, what is this on about? Why are you talking to me about episodes? And I'm like, okay, it has to be the first one. Is it like, is the game split into 4 parts? Is that it? And so it's like, is it only 4 parts of the game? And I'm just like, that's confusing. And you say, do keep knee deep, which is probably like the first one, knee deep in the dead. So is it like it doesn't matter which ones you play first, or you can play them out of order? And then now the question is like, what's the difficulty I choose? Definitely, I'm not playing the Too Young to Die, which is hilarious. I wonder if they had these sort of terms, these difficulty terms in the original version. I assume they did, because it would make sense. It's just I wonder if they had all of them, because there's like what 5 different difficulties, and I always kind of perceive classic games. Perhaps maybe that's my mistake here, but I always thought that they would have like no difficulties. There would always be just one difficulty mode, and that's what you have to be good at. But apparently here they have, let's see, they have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 difficulty modes, which is very interesting. And I noticed that I have the stream set on normal latency, but now I can't go back and change it. Sadness, but that's okay. So I'm Too Young to Die is obviously off the table. Hey, no, Too Rough, Not Too Rough is also probably off the table. Someone is telling me to go Ultra Violence, and I'm like, I don't know, that's hard. Yeah, Moodcap, Far Cry Lego says that's hard. And I gotta tell you guys, I'm not like a huge FPS player. Plus, I think retro games are probably difficult. Can you change the difficulty midway through the game in this version? Because if we play on Ultra Violence and I'm getting wrecked, then it's going to be the end of the world for me. So it's between Hurt Me Plenty or Ultra Violence. And okay, let's vote for it quickly. Let's do a quick vote. Do Hurt Me Plenty. Okay, you can't. Yeah, let's be safe. This is my first time playing a Doom game, so I think it's safer to go just to play Hurt Me Plenty. Okay, in that case, let's go and wish me luck. Okay, so right away we're playing the game, and I have no idea what we're doing. And for those who are wondering what are we playing on, we're playing on, let's see. Okay, picked up a health bonus. Was he not supposed to touch that right away? Okay, so the D-pad doesn't do anything. I'm playing on the Nintendo Switch. I know it's kind of, now that I get to play it on a Nintendo Switch, which has weird analog sticks, I'm not a fan of it, per se. But then I thought of it, well, I gotta prepare for the worst. Because if anything happens, if anything happens to me, then, and if I for whatever reason I dislike the game, there's always that, what did I just do? You picked up an armor bonus. Am I supposed to be touching this stuff? It says 2%, so I say yes. And we have the armor. You said behind. This is going to be insane. I already know. It's like, what is this on the ground? And then the other thing is like, I can't move the camera. Can't aim up and down. It's just one straight line. See, this is like the only thing I can do. Isn't that crazy? 100 armor. Good. So we're 100% safe. Safe and sound, which is obviously good. And then what is this? This is another... Should I pick this up? It's an armor bonus. See, like this, everything about this game is foreign to me. Let's see what happens. 101%. Okay. Okay. 102. 103. You can't in Classic Doom, as in... let's see if we can make this bigger, and let's see what Twitch is saying. Let's see. Hosky said knee deep in the dead as the option, and choose nightmare. You hate me, don't you, huh? You think you're funny? I don't think I would complete. Hey, not too rough. Dang it. Well, that's what we're in, and that's what we're stuck with. Wait, no, that's the second one. Oh wait, hold on. What? I have gyro controls on? No. How do I turn this off? What? Oh, heck no. I have gyro controls on. So yeah, I'm playing the Switch version. This is not what I wanted. Let's see, hold on. That's crazy. Gyro controls. Who made this? Oh no. Move. Okay. Quick weapon on Switch. Okay. Previous weapon, next weapon, that makes sense. Sprint with the back one, with the L2. Fire with the R2. Okay. Map. You select. And back. Back for what? And you can aim with the analog stick. Okay. Let's see if we remember all that. But that's crazy. See, this is not what I expected at all. See, I'm just kind of like, I'm moving my controller right now, and I'm making an inappropriate hand movement, as you can imagine, as one does when, as one shakes a controller. That's crazy. Hopefully it's not going to get too bad. What did I just press? Okay. That was some sort of weird light. So this is run. We just ran, sprinted. Okay. And now what? This is back. I'm pressing B and nothing's happening. Okay. Okay, B is useless. It said back and it didn't do anything. Hosky says, you're the homie, but yeah, I do want to see you in agony. Well, it's not fun for everyone if I'm just going to be dying every single time, right? Plus, isn't this fun? We're already stuck on this screen and we're playing around with this wedge. Whatever that does. Okay, so Far Cry Lego is... Since last time we had like a bunch of you helping out with the Arkham games, Far Cry Lego is already going off in the YouTube chat, and he's like... He knows what to do. I feel like I'm gonna be like this old grandma here. Nah, just kidding. I'm gonna do great, guys. You'll see. But I want to get back to some of these comments, and let's get back to... let's first read Far Cry Lego's comments, right? So that do hurt me plenty, no. Okay, we read that for the completely. PN the level, you can't in Classic Doom, which you're referring to changing difficulties, I assume, and then PN the level item, I don't know what that means. Unless you play on something like GZ Doom, which is probably some sort of PC emulator or PC equivalent. Yes, pick everything up and kill everything. Even as someone who been playing Doom for 12 years, I am not playing Nightmare. Oh, since that is evil. Good, out of the room. Okay, so glad we got through those comments. And we're going to get back to Moodcap's topic, because I definitely wanted to discuss the whole Battlefront situation. And then Hosky says, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you guys. It's like you don't want to see me fail too much. So in that case, let me turn off the audio for myself. Alrighty. So let's see. This is going to explode. Let's bring back our weapon here. If we have to pick up everything, then we'll do it. And then what is this thing? It's a map. That looks very confusing to me. So what happens if I leave this map? 6 skulls. Oh, so it's like a diagram. And what? 3 secrets? Okay, so we're able to move just using the map. So if I move in the map, I'm going to move in the real world. And there's a timer. 5 minutes. Okay, it's not a timer. It's a timer. Okay, let's just leave this room then. Somebody died here. It's kind of sad. Okay. Let's just kind of, before I address some of your comments. So kill everything, okay. These guys look like good guys, but they're shooting at us, okay. Okay, that was easy. That is the easiest game of all time. So what is the point of this map? That's what I want to know. Because it doesn't seem like it's all that useful to me. What is this? What? What if I go under this? Something just beeped. I don't even know. And you can't jump from what I see. I heard somebody growl. I don't like the sound of that. Oh, let me turn this up. I hear some serious growling in the background and it's freaking me out. Oh! Okay. Picked up a clip. Okay, so once you walk over their bodies, you can pick up clips. Do I shoot them? Oh, when it's red. Okay. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's get this guy first. It's kind of odd. Maybe that's why. Maybe it is easier with gyro controls. Let's see. If I jump into this water pool, is it going to do something to me? Okay. See, it's like, okay, ammo, 38. Okay. Health, alright, I see. But then arms, it's like 2 arms. I guess there's going to be different weapons. What now? Oh, jeez. Stay still. Oh, gosh. Ooh. Getting too handsy with me here. This stuff is pretty scary, not gonna lie. I mean, not scary, but it's like if you came into contact with these creatures, you'd be scared, obviously. They're aliens? Are they demons? What's the lore behind this game? I assume it's not going to tell us anything. Okay. How's the screen, by the way? Is it too floaty? Okay. So yeah, the whole Battlefront. I'm just kind of experiencing everything for the first time, and I'm already kind of living the moment. Isn't that crazy? I have an instinct to just look up, but I keep forgetting. You can only look forward. Let's see. The timer is your score at the end. Oh, well, too bad. Oh, what is this? What? What is this? That was it? 0 secrets. We are demons from hell and go forward. Time. Were we supposed to do that, guys? Were we supposed to? Because that felt very quick. Where were we? Were we in one of these places? In one of these locations? Which one was it? The hangar? Which one's the hangar on the map? It doesn't specify. We did it, guys! We are the best players in the whole world. I'm proud of us. Yep, that is your score. I'm surprised how easy that was. And only 67% pickup? That's odd. You are here. Okay, where do we move? That was easy. Easiest game of all time. I thought this would be more difficult. So, why are they making these weird noises when they look just like a bunch of guys? Okay, so somebody's shooting at me. And it's not good. It's not good. Let's punch him. Cool. It's actually pretty cool. The gyro controls, not gonna lie, they're kind of helping me out with because the analog stick for the Switch games, the controller, the Joy-Cons, right? They're just kind of not the best, let me tell you. What is this? Somebody's still here. Because it's like, it's too kiddie, like for babies, I guess. It feels like a Fisher-Price controller. So it's too much sometimes. The map is just kind of confusing to me. I know there was an armor, but you need a red key to open this door. Okay, well then, let's find the red key. Okay. Is this gonna help us out somehow? No, no way it's helping us out. Oh. Okay. Take me up. Oh, cool. We found the shotgun. And it's the 4th weapon? Pick up 4. Okay, cool. How many weapons, how much armor do we have for each one? So this one has 58. And this one has 20. We got the shotgun, guys. Yeah, this is why I use keyboard and mouse, as well as PlayStation 4 controller. Well, I gotta say, the gyro controls somehow redeem this, in a way. This is closed. This is where we came from, of course. The hangar. Cool. Okay, so Battlefront Classic Collection. I was pretty disappointed with the whole thing because, like I said, I have like this whole thing where I want to play classic games. Somebody's behind me, and that's kind of cool because when I'm here, it automatically detects them, so I can shoot from here, and it's gonna kill them. So yeah, so Battlefront. So for those who don't know, you might be thinking of the wrong Battlefront game. There were multiple Battlefront games. You might be thinking of like the recent ones by EA. EA released the newer ones, and some people confuse them for that. But that's not what it is, right? We're talking about like the classic Battlefront games. These guys are easy so far. And the thing with them is that they were beloved by so many people back in the day when they came out on what, like PlayStation 2. And so they were beloved by so many fans. And some say that's the definitive way of playing the game. Isn't that insane that I have 79? I picked up the key there. And so people loved playing those games. It was like classic Star Wars. Should I pick up the armor now or later? And the thing about them is that people just love them so much, and I think I'm just repeating myself because I'm just too distracted with the game. This guy's not going down. Okay, he's down. Picked up a box full of bullets. Good. Okay, we're not supposed to touch that. And what did this do? See, like, I find this game to be already so interesting that I can't even focus on what I'm saying. But essentially, people love those games. On the PlayStation 2, they were the epitome of what Star Wars used to be for many. And goodness gracious. Oh, my science. And what happened? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, what happened? Oh. Dang. That was crazy. Can I get up here? Can I get up here? No, I can't. Oh, come on. I have to find a different way, I guess. Alright, let's find a different way. And people just love them, and I need to be able to focus. So, green water bad. Got it. Oh yes, watch this. Oh no. Can I get the armor? If I go get the armor, will it be 100%? You have to go back to on the lift. Like, we're already back on the lift, I assume. And the remasters by Asper came out of those classic Star Wars games, and I was excited to play them because so many people just loved them. with a whole passion. And one of my friends, he wanted to play it. Everyone wanted to play them. And it just turns out that go down. Okay, yeah, we're going down. And it turns out that basically the games are broken. The remasters are broken. The beloved remasters that everyone was waiting for are totally ruined. And that the launch just totally not took off. And it was done by Aspers, the same guys who worked on the Tomb Raider game, right? And now that turned out fairly well. Fairly, you could say they were being very faithful to them, to the original games. And it just sucks. I think this is the way we progress, so let's just go back to where we want to go back to. This is like an alternative path, I assume. People wanted to play those games, partially like me, to get started on them, but also because I guess it's the same path. Also because they wanted to relive the classic game. And it was just broken, and it was the same people who worked on the Tomb Raider game. Which, oh gosh. Screw him. Wait, where's the health kit? There it is. And basically the game is broken. Like, if you look at it, the polygons are all over the place. Everything's a mess. There is no saving it. It's all just ruined. And people can't play it. Oh, that was easy. That was it. That was easy. Okay. Again, we're doing an incredible job. Even though we only picked up 14% of the items? What? Secrets again, 0%. I feel like we're doing something wrong. Like, I guess we're just so good at it. Click the button. Again, which button? The one, save now. How can I save? Do I press the start button in case you die? How do I save in this? In case you die. I feel like this is not the screen you save on. Because I'm pressing the save option. You are here. Entering Toxin Refinery. Or whatever that place is. Save now. Okay, we can save. Okay, cool. Save. Yes. What is this? Save information. Doom. Back. We saved, I believe. Game saved. Therefore, it means we are good. We are doing well. Good. And I saw Moodcap say something else as well. Something else about the Battlefront games. It's not enough for Star Wars to make new bad projects, but they have to go back and ruin old games. The whole situation with Star Wars is just sad, of course. And there's no way of saving it. I hope you guys are not hopeful that things are gonna... Okay, somebody's coming for us. Oh, they're shooting at us this way, okay? Why are they acting like dogs? They're barking and they don't even look like dogs to me. Oh, there's a... Okay. There we go. See, did you guys see that? We blew up the whole thing. And we blew up this barrel and then it just exploded on them. Okay. So this is gonna be locked 100%. Never mind. I thought we needed a key again. Okay. Okay. And I hope you guys are not holding out hope for Star Wars, because that thing is just doomed till the end of times. You know what? I think we're just gonna pick up everything, because before I wanted to leave some stuff behind, but I think the idea here is just to pick up as much as you can. Okay, so we need a blue key now. Okay. Let's do that then. Like, you look at what Kathleen Kennedy, she's never going away, even though she's... What the fudge is that? Looks like a face. What is this? He's talking to me. Creepy. See, like, this counts as a kill, so it's not so bad, I would say. You know what? Maybe we would be able to do hard. Does the game get harder over time, or is it just one set difficulty? So I feel like this is doable, kind of. There we go, see? Oh yeah, armor 100. This is gonna open. Oh! Shooting gallery. Oh, they all got shotguns? Can we just go in this way? No, let's not do that just yet. There we go. One more guy in here. There he is. Did we get him? Nope. Hold on. Where is he? Okay, it's not working out. Let's... But then again, with these controls, perhaps it's for the better. Health. Let's get health. So far we're doing... I don't know. I would say we're doing fairly well. Like, this is my first time playing Doom. I kind of appreciated how the items on the floor just turn around, just like in Tomb Raider. Something about those older games. Okay. Not good, I assume. Awesome. Like, she's not going away. She was supposed to leave so many times, and she just hasn't left. Okay, there's something down there. Let's go. Yellow. I feel like that did nothing except get us a different item. So that's... Oh, there's a guy up there. What's he trying to do? Poison? I can't even get to him. Oh, wow! No. What a menace to society and to everyone else. What a menace. Oh, these guys are coming at me. No, not this, not this. Battle of shotguns. How do you miss it? Like I'm telling you, the gyro controls are not perfect, okay? Oh, we got 7%. It's serious. Can we go back and get health? It's gonna get serious. Hold on. Greetings from Japan. Used to play the game when I was little. Hey, escapism enjoyer. I hope you're escaping and enjoying at the same time. What, Far Cry Lego? No. I can't just go back and get something in return. Oh, what? I just got trolled by somebody. No. Well, dang. Okay, see, maybe it's a good thing we're playing on this difficulty then. Wait, did we lose our shotgun? We lost our shotgun. What? How do they expect me to win? I guess we'll just take them from the rest. Ah, oh, man. And we get less ammo. Oh, wow. Ruthless. I shouldn't have taken that medkit just yet. Okay. And you have everything. Go back to save. Oh, right. Wasn't that sort of cheating now? I guess it is. We're gonna try to do it without the thing. Gonna go back like pros. We don't need to do like the whole saving thing. We got everything. We got everything we need. You said not really. I think it is. I think it is. Just think about it this way. It's like back then when you were playing the game, you wouldn't have been able to just do a random save. So technically is cheating. I mean, that's how I look at it, honestly. Oh my gosh. Just staying one. Oh, stupid. Am I really gonna get gunned down by this loser? Okay. Let's get back to this thing. And this thing. There we go. Ah. Okay. UK. Well, it's a nice country. Says super Buster Gaming. Sometimes these names are a trap. This thing is talking to me again. So last time we went this way and I think it went wrong. We opened this window, which was a mistake. Right? We don't want to go this way. Or do we? Okay, this... Oh. We want this, yes. Do we want to go up... Oh gosh, he's here. He just started running around like a fool. And you have everything. Okay, good luck. You're like, just live with your choices. Live with the choices you make. And I will. Just look at me. I'm doing it now. See, and we have everything we need. Except for the ammo for the shotgun. I will admit, we're kind of low on that. Then again, if I... Oh. What did that do? So when I played Half-Life, the original one, of course I did save, so I guess maybe it's not the end of the world after all. There's so many pathways, I don't know which one to go. Let's go this way for once. See where it takes me. Oh gosh, that's something else, isn't it? Whoa! That is not a friend. Give that to me. That is cursed. Ooh! So we have not been here before, lads and ladies. But there's a lot here. Ooh, there's a yellow key. Not blue, but yellow. We'll take it. Okay. Do we need this? We don't. Because we have like 98% of health. Super Buster Gaming, I can tell you what you should eat. In Korea, Korean people think a lot about foods. Don't you guys have like that? Didn't you guys originate mukbang, right? People in Korea, of Korea. I'm pretty sure that came from you guys. And in that case, you know, it would make sense. But by the way, this is like the first time I'm seeing you on this live stream, so it's great to have you here. By the way, I'm really glad to have a new person on here as well. So feel free to sub, and maybe, who knows, maybe you'll like these streams. Maybe. We're not promising anything. But that's interesting, yeah. You guys are all about the food. I probably, like, that's not something I even made a conscious, you know, that's not something I thought about really, but it makes sense if that's true, right? Because mukbang, that's where that came from. Let's kill these guys here. Pathetic, pathetic. We got a longer range, so we're not gonna make the same mistake twice. We're not gonna go crazy into this place. There we go. And everything is beautiful. Everything is right with the world suddenly. Okay, now we gotta use the... Let's hop in here. Oh, there is this loser here. Oh no. The demon is insane. I'm telling you guys. So yeah, what are some... Health is low, health is low. Get back. There we go. And we've cooked them. It's over. Let's take everything. And suddenly we have everything we need. Oh, except for that guy, he's still there. Let's see if there's more med kits somewhere around here. I've never been to Korea, I'm gonna tell you. And it seems like a very interesting country. It seems like a very... it is probably one of like the most advanced ones in terms of... Like, I don't want to say progress, right? Oh, you can only have 50 ammo, that sucks. But that's not gonna stop us. By the way, are these levels getting longer each time or what? And we have the blue key. Awesome. And it's guarded by this clown. So I guess the shotgun is really the best weapon. We're being tricked. Let's just leave these guys behind. We don't even need to fight them, do we? I don't even know how to kill that guy. Yeah, they get longer. Okay, so maybe sometimes it serves to save. I can see why that would be important. We're not opening that window again. We came from that. Okay, good. Good, good. We're gonna take this in as well. So each medkit is like 10. So I guess let's save again. How many slaves do we have? Do we have like a... Oh, there's a quick load option. Okay, quick load. Quick load. Oh no, quick save. Oh no. Did I just accidentally quick load? Hopefully not. Okay, good. Whew. Oh. Bye, pal, says somebody. Far Cry Liga, you're going now? That early? Or are you just saying something else? Oh, wait. The shotgun has a range. What? That's quite some range. That's impressive. The shotgun is just incredible. Oh, we just hit both of them. Wow. Anyone else? Good. Alright, let's see what you guys are saying. I like your gameplay and talking to viewers. Seriously. Oh, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. Because that's something I always struggle with, you know? It's like, sometimes this guy is insane. They're all going crazy. Oh, wow, we just destroyed all of them by destroying those barrels. How do we get up there, huh? What are you trying to do, game? Trying to play a trick on us? Oh, it's all going up. Cool. That's nice. And there should be one more guy somewhere around here, no? We're safe? Good. It's 8:30 a.m. in Korea. Nice. The Korean soup is another level, so if you go to Korea, eat Korean traditional soup. Sounds... I might have to do that, of course, if I ever go there, which sounds like a good idea. I can tell you what you should eat. Oh, I already read that one. Subscribed. Yeah, sweet. Awesome. This is like the first time we're starting this series, by the way. And it's cool to be getting new viewers as well. So, truly an honor. Yeah, they get longer. Okay, well, I got to go now because the class is going to start. So, bye. Thanks for watching, Super Buster Gaming. You can always rewatch the videos later if you need to, right? Because they're going to be up on the channel. Of course, you have to go on the what's it called, like the live tab and everything. Oh, we passed. Sweet. Wait, then why did we have the yellow key for? What? Was that the secret? I think it was. Interesting, interesting. So yeah, Super Buster Gaming, you can always come back and rewatch the live stream, or just, we're always streaming on Saturdays and Mondays at around the same time. Yeah, so although like this Saturday is probably going to be the last time we stream before we go for break because of Easter, which is a huge holiday in all of the Western world, entire Western Hemisphere celebrates that, which is different from East. I wonder if you guys should celebrate that too. Oh, Far Cry Lego says, I'm not going. You were responding to Super Buster Gaming. Wow, am I really that behind on the chats? Wow, he is probably already gone. Each episode has 8 levels. Okay, good to hear. You are here, which is the command control. So this one is down. Yeah, I think it was like 8 levels. Good, okay. Each episode has 8 levels, which means... See, I think I'm just gonna use the shotgun from now on. Just look at this. Not even... No problems posed whatsoever. Oh gosh, now it's getting somewhat insane. They're all coming at us. Oh, I should save, right? Although I saved with like 79%, it's not ideal. Oh well. I guess we should save now. Since it's a different level. Save. Military time, yes. Oh, that... Is this guy helping me? Is anyone still shooting at us? Good. Oh, it's that blue orb again. It's going to talk to us. And be extremely weird about it. Okay, these rooms are cool. Awesome. I don't know what that did. Don't hurt me. See, like, I don't know what these switches do sometimes. It's wild. Let's see. Let's not abandon Hosky on Twitch. Okay, he didn't say anything good. Like, you do want source ports for PC. Do quick save, yeah, like true. Like I constantly save during like the Half-Life games. So maybe it's not like totally cheating, but I guess it's something I always want to minimize, so it's not like you don't want to be just doing the same thing over and over again, because then it's not fun to constantly... What is that? And what is this? Ammo? We have a lot of ammo. I don't know if we need it right now. We can come back here once. This is weird, guys. Let me tell you, this is weird. This is like a new costume. I'm kind of tempted not to put it on because it looks like it's made of paper. It looks like it's really made of paper. It's for the sewer. Oh, okay. See, that makes sense. Die. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go back for that thing. You need it. Yeah, I assumed I would. Just I wanted to see how far I would go without that thing. Let's see. We were here, I guess. That's the other thing about these games. Like, you can get lost if you're not careful. There's also this door here. We came from all the way over there. See, this suit is helping us out. It's like a... It's a good way of tracking where you are. How come this guy's not dying? He was not... See, this is why the shotgun is the best. One shot and it's blammo for them. He didn't die? What? Die. Okay, yeah, let's put it on. You're going backwards, I suppose. Dang it. These guys are crazy. Oh yeah, blue key. Let's go. Awesome. And what is this? A minigun? Oh, wow. Cool. Where did we find the thing? Can we leave? We're stuck? What? Guys? Okay. Why am I green? The best weapon is shotgun for now. Okay, let's listen to you. This is the good thing about having experts on here. So we came from this way as well. And I think the additional ammo was right here. So let's pick it up. Maybe it's gonna give us some... We got full on. Okay. Yeah, let's put this... Let's pick it up. What is this? Is it just for decoration? What is this? What is this tomfoolery? We've been bamboozled once again. Okay. Let's go. This is going forward, right? No, wait, we came from this way. Can we just go up here for a sec? Yes, we can. Sweet. Oh gosh, what was that noise? Oh no, we're just leaving you guys behind. Actually, let's fancy this. This may not have been the smartest idea. What? Can I go up? I want to go back up. I can't? Well, dang. Use the chain gun on them. Can I go back up? I guess I can't. Which is the whole purpose I even fought them. Ah, great. What if I just use this thing? Right? What if that turned it on? I don't think that's how it works, but... Yeah, we screwed up, boys and girls. Okay, fine. We don't need that anyway. Okay, good. Let's move forward. So it's like, you know... Oh my face is all bloody. You know what, I'm just gonna stick with my beautiful shotgun. See how beautiful this thing is? It's so beautiful, like... Yes, this is what we want. This is what we want. This is the ammo we have. Alright. Oh, there's one more thing up there. Since it is a pistol, share the ammo. I can share the ammo? What does that mean? Like, I'm taking their ammo? Is that it? You're making a joke that I'm just very bad at understanding? Oh, we're definitely not facing that thing head on. If I can fight that thing from afar, I'm gonna do it. Oops. Dang. Fail. Oh, yes. Oh. Oh, wait. Is that guy also fighting them? I think he was. I think there's some clues here. And that guy just dropped the yellow key. You guys see that? It's yellow. It's glowing. I think there's something here. Like this, I wouldn't say there's a story, but that guy was fighting that monster. So what is this? What is the story behind this then? What is the deeper meaning of Doom? Uh-oh. See, they're gonna fight. Watch. What are they doing? Guys, I understand this is not the hardest difficulty. But that doesn't mean you have to ignore me. They are infighting. It's classic Doom. But they're not on the same team, right? I mean, they're like two different forces fighting against each other. I assume they're probably like an enemy that's also interested in whatever's on this planet. So we definitely have to go after the monster first. And there's ammo here. Which is exactly what we want. A box of rockets. Cool, there's going to be a rocket. I feel like we're progressing too quickly. I think we should go back. Yellow key. Of course. Which we saw on the other side. Which is good, which means my intuition was right. By the Dark Lord. Should I save now? I don't know. This is the way. Blue door. What is this? UAC. What is like? See, like there's some environmental storytelling happening here. But I saved that talk for you. Once you reach. Interesting. You reach 64 2016. Okay, so there's some spoilers ahead, I see. Oh gosh, no. We can't lose like this. Oh no. Whew. We're not doing well on... What's the armor for? Somebody tell me. I guess we should save. Let's save. Quick save. R. There we go. I'm always scared of pressing... like, you know how you can sometimes press... See, I made a mistake right there. Earlier, as you saw. Okay, once we're done with this level, I want to watch something with you guys. Not good, not good. Okay, good. 1 health point percentage. Call it whatever. So, remember guys, if you ever want to go to Korea, try traditional Korean soup. The catacombs, I'm getting a claustrophobic feeling. This is like a maze. Oh wow, look at this place, guys, it's huge. Okay. Beat the leave. And they are in every game. Okay, interesting. There we go. Oh, he saw it, scrap. Give this to me. Nope. Ooh! Oh yes, give this to me. Good. This is the shortcut, right? Give this to me as well. Okay, so now we can save. I'm gonna save now. Quick save. Cool. You know what? Let's save now since we got all the med kits that were in this area. Get the health. Yes, yes. Did we miss some? I think we missed something over there. In the maze. There we go. But there was more of the maze. Mayonnaise. Did you guys hear about the whole X-Men 97 situation? With the writers who... The original show creators, they came out and said that basically they agree with the fact that Morph, I don't know why I keep wanna refer to him as Morphball. But he said it was like 3 of the writers. There was like the head writer, right? His name was Larry of the X-Men 90s show. There we go. We're in the maze zone area, the maze. I guess there's nothing here. Okay. I don't know why I thought that there was something else here. Guess not. But Larry said that, according to his opinion, I guess I could read it to you guys in a bit once we're done with this level. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Let's see what you guys are saying on Twitch. Okay, nothing yet. Okay, cool. Let's see. In that case, let's progress on further. To beat the level, you said. Wait, that's where we came from. We're getting stuck now. It's this way. Oh, see, there's one more health here. See, I knew we missed something. Cool. This way. Yes, we're here. Finally. Good. Okay, now let's save. Sure, let's do that. Oh, there's a health kit up there. Exit. That's the exit. But do we want to go back there? Oh, we were here. Okay. So let's see. The whole thing where you're supposed to... We still didn't find any secrets. How do you find any secrets? We killed every enemy, though. We killed all 54. So it's like crazy how there are so many secrets. Whew. Okay. No, go for the exit. Yep. Good. Whoa. Good. Par 130, whatever that means. Who knows? I don't know. What are we supposed to do with this information? Hopefully it's not gonna progress us on. Good. So, yeah, let's read those comments by the X-Men creators. Yes. So it's, of course, the X-Men 97 show, which, from what I understand, is that they have not been... You said 1:30 is the time to beat. Oh, wow, somebody beat this in less than 2 minutes? 1 minute and a half? What? That's crazy. That's impressive. So yeah, going back to the X-Men 97 show, this is what one of the creators said, one of the writers. One of him was, I did mention Larry, but I think this is from... Okay, here's what Larry said. For me, the word non-binary is the same as the word shapeshifter. Director Larry Hudson told Variety. Every character that can change from one gender to another, or from human to animal, that's just another word for shapeshifter for me. So he's using semantics basically, and I think he's not really being even 100% serious about what he's saying. By the way, this is not me coping. If you want me to say it's like, oh, you're just trying to please your own side of the argument. No, I 100% think that this show is I think it's promoting progressive ideology, like the new show, of course. And if you want to say like the older X-Men have been doing so as well, you can go ahead and say that too. I'm not gonna say it wasn't doing some of that, but then there was also like the other side of things, which is there was also a lot of like Christian messages in the original show. So it's like you can really go both ways. Whereas with this new version, it's probably going to be just the one thing. And I'm not going to say that, like the original creators supporting this newer show is not going to do anything for the series. I do think it's going to do a lot for it. And I'm acknowledging that they are embracing this ideology. In fact, this is not me trying to downplay it. Or, I think I am trying to downplay what they're saying, because what they're saying is on its own, it's not really much of a win, because the contents of what they're saying are just kind of like this middle ground wishy-washy stuff that just so happens to be leaning left, because that's the popular opinion to have, which you can take that for what it is, and you say, well, still they're on our side, what our enemies would say. But then it's like, okay, they are then. But they're pretty weak comments if you take them for what they are. He's not even trying to say, yes, he is non-binary, therefore he is expressing his identity from inside, and therefore we must accept all forms of sexualities and so on and so forth. He's not really that type of person. Maybe Larry is, maybe there are some other comments, but for what he's saying here, he's just kind of making like a semantical point where it's like, oh yeah, shapeshifting and gender person, non-binary person are two of the same things. It's like, okay, you're not really saying anything profound about the human identity or existence or anything for that matter. But then there's a different writer who was the Eric Lewald, who interestingly enough, he was one of the people who was responsible for the Christian themes in the original cartoon. And I think his comments are more glaring, which is interesting, right? Because you have this guy who is more on the Christian side, but then he's saying this other stuff as well. And then again, it's like, I don't even know him personally. Maybe he's one of those left-leaning Christians, right? There's so many of those. So again, fake Christians, because you can't be a left-wing Christian. You can't be a left-winger and a Christian at the same time, because one is like a total betrayal of the other thing. So you gotta choose who you're gonna serve. And I'm wondering if this might be just a little bit too loud. It might be just, let me turn this volume down just a little bit from the game. There we go, so you can still hear it. That beautiful rock music, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't call it beautiful per se, but some people love this stuff. Let's see. And so yeah, going back to Eric Lewald, so this other guy who was the head writer, and he injected a lot of those Christian themes, which seemed somewhat genuine, especially when it came to Nightcrawler. This is what he said recently in the Variety article. He says that Morph, he attacks Wolverine, his closest friend, in the most dramatic way by turning into Jean Grey and putting his hand on Wolverine's neck and leaning in for a kiss. The Wald explained, that's as non-binary as you can get. It's Morph turning into a woman and coming onto Wolverine to freak him out. So again, it's like, okay, he's trying to freak him out. The context, I have not watched the original cartoon, or at least that scene in particular, because I have seen some episodes, of course, but I have not seen this episode, so I don't know if the context is different. I 100% guarantee you that it is, because even saying the word non-binary, that word basically did not exist in the same context that it does nowadays. It did not exist back then. So it's two different things entirely. And he's saying it was all there in Morph's character. Now it's become such a social thing that I think people will be more sensitive to how it's used. And that's him being very disingenuous, because he's saying it's become a social thing. He's saying that it's changed to this. He's in the way trying to make it so that the meaning of his character has changed. And I would say Yes, I guess. True. But then he's approaching it from a level of, oh, people are going to take issue with it. Whereas before, they didn't. And they shouldn't be. And that's a fair perspective, I would say, to have. But at the same time, you also have to acknowledge the fact that back then it was much less played down, and back then you did not think of it the same way that you do now. And this is what I talked about 2 days ago when I said that it doesn't matter what sort of creative you have. When we were talking about like the Spider-Man series, the '90s series, or the Spectacular Spider-Man series, Greg Weisman, who came back for Young Justice, if we brought him back for Spectacular Spider-Man, what do you think is going to happen? The exact same thing. He's going to be pigeonholed in this one position that he's probably going to believe by now, because it's become the standard in Hollywood to repeat the same thing over and over again, which is that you have to be in support of these causes like BLM, LGBTQ+, and all this other nonsense, and that's the status quo right now. So he's going to be supporting that even though he may not believe in it himself. And I think it has progressed to a point where for a lot of people it is just what the common, I'm not going to call it common sense because there's no sense in any of it, but it has become the common ideology that has been, and it's not like any of this has been happening. None of this has changed in a day, right? This has been coming for a long time. There has been like this steady decline in Christian faith since like the 50s, right? Ever since the end of the war, you could see a steady decline. And so it's kind of ironic that we're playing Doom, which had its own, I guess, series of controversies. But I think in general, the culture has been progressively becoming more liberal, of course. And so that's what we're seeing now, this he called it the social change. It's not really a social change, it's become a acceptation of the fact that we have totally embraced the left-wing ideology as the main ideology, right? It's the main thing. You're asking me, Far Cry Lego, he did what? Who are you referring to when you say he? Because I talked about multiple people probably, and I have no idea who the he is. Oh goodness, he is. No, who the he is. Who is the he that you're mentioning? Because you're saying he did what? And oh, he did that. Excuse me, I'm so blind. I'm so sorry. He did that. Who did what? You can still clarify because I still don't know who he is. But let's see. He did that. What was I talking about? Are you talking about the writers who we were quoting, or I forgot who that might be referring to? If you could specify the person who is the he, that'd be great. So yeah, but that was Eric. Oh yeah, I was talking about how Moodcap says yes. Oh, you were responding to Moodcap, weren't you? Because you said, Moodcap says, remember when Greg Weisman introduced a non-binary Muslim character, even though that's a big no-no for that religion? Did he really? And so that's when Far Cry Lego says, wait, what? He did that? And then Moodcap says yes, and Far Cry Lego says why? It is pretty bad in those countries. Yeah, it is, but Marvel doesn't care, and this is where Marvel finds themselves at a conflict, and all these other countries, these people on the left find themselves because they paint themselves as the tolerant left who accepts diversity. Diversity is our strength. And then what they realize is that they bring in people from all sorts of backgrounds. They think they can, the big thing called coexist. They think they can coexist with everyone else, when in reality that's just a big lie, of course, because you have too many different people, and people talk about melting pot. America has been founded on the melting pot thing. Melting pot has been misused as a term so many times. Hey, Sir Dietzel, the melting pot thing has been it's been abused, because melting pot, that means is that you have all these different ingredients, right? And then the idea of the melting pot is that inside of that pot, the ingredients are supposed to be melting. They're supposed to be blending in. Like, speaking of what was his name? Super Banger, I think his name was. Super Buster Gaming. He said, the Korean traditional soup, that's basically what it is. You're supposed to have a soup that's going to have all these ingredients, and they're all supposed to meld into one. That's what melting pot is supposed to mean. It means the opposite of coexisting. It means you're supposed to assimilate, essentially. You're supposed to acknowledge what is different about you, but when it comes to your public life, you're supposed to ignore the things that make you different. And I don't think that's a good way of coming at it as well. There are positives to that as well as negatives. So that's, of course, worth mentioning as well. But, it's like the idea of the melting pot is just untrue, right? So yeah, going back to Eric, what's his name? Eric Lewald. He was, again, a showrunner for the original animated cartoon. So he said that it was as non-binary as you can get. So it's so interesting to see this guy, who did even appear on Rippaverse once. He had with his wife, who she also left her comment here, and they talked about how the Christian themes that they were tackling back then, and how that was very much important. And now they're kind of like leaning into this side of things, which again goes back to what we said about, it doesn't matter who you are, you're just going to adopt this thing. And if you're not gonna adopt it, then they're gonna get somebody else. Like, they're gonna get this gay guy who is black as well. And they're gonna be like, yeah, you are going to represent what this show is going to be. And if the original creators are not gonna get on board, then guess what? We're gonna make this show without you. And Sir Diesel says Morth was friends with Wolverine in the show. When he came back as an antagonist, he did things that would get to Wolverine, who he knew to mess with his head. Nothing they did was him being non-binary. See, that's what I thought about it when he even explained this clip. Because Morph died and then he got resurrected. And then, just reading his comments, I'll read them again. He attacks Wolverine, his closest friend, in the most dramatic way by turning into Jean Grey and putting his hands on Wolverine's neck and leaning in for a kiss. Again, that sounds like, if I just read that, it just sounds like he's teasing him, or he's trying to get to his head, because, again, even he acknowledges that he's trying to find the most dramatic angle to approach him to get into his head. And then he's saying that, what he said, and what we're saying, and he's saying that's as non-binary as you can get. Even though he's ignoring the very fact that non-binary is supposed to be very much about the sexuality of it all. Hey Nimbus, it's good to have you here as well. Glad you made it. We're talking about the X-Men 97 comments by the original creators, who are now saying that Morph has been always non-binary. And so yeah, he's saying that now, which is like, those are two different things, sir. And so again, they're just kind of, it's revisionist history in a lot of ways. But at the same time, I don't want to, it's like, we do talk about a lot of times about how Chris Claremont, for example, he's been setting this up stuff. Like, for the most part, those stories were for everyone, but he did a great job at making those stories that were leaning in one way. He made them palatable for everyone. He made them digestible for everyone, and then when people digested them, they were kind of okay with it. And then once it got cranked up in the modern day, everyone is just like, hey, this doesn't belong here, when in reality it was kind of there, kind of not. It's like, we can obviously all say that what Morph did then with context is way different than him being non-binary. But at the same time, what are the implications of him being like this cross shapeshifter character? It's like, if you kind of take a look back at it, Loki's a shapeshifter, and there's a reason why he's a bad guy. There's a reason why a lot of characters in fiction that are shapeshifters tend to be on the evil side. And I'm just saying that, there's certain things about stories and how there are certain character qualities that you can have, like witches, right? Witches are also evil. And there are these things that you can latch onto in characters that define characters that, it's like, it's a huge thing. I was watching this one movie called Anatomy of a Fall, which is like this feminist movie, and there was like this one lady who recommended a psychic to one of the children who was suffering from like a death of a family. And I'm like, why is it that she's mentioning a psychic in this film? And then you kind of like think about it, it's like, okay, well, this movie is a feminist movie, and it's like, then you think about it and it's like, why do feminist movies always end up eventually going into like the territory of witches? Why do like a lot of women in Hollywood right now are very much into witches, like Cynthia Erivo, or I think that's how you pronounce her name. Uh, so it's like, again, it's like, oh, witches, feminism, and then what else? Like, it just look at the patterns. It's like, okay, feminists also support, like gay marriage, of course, and then they're more likely to support trans people, and then gay people are more likely to even more support trans people. So it's like there's like a logical conclusion being made here, right? It's like a logical, what's the word I'm looking for? Escalation. It's like it escalated, but at the same time, if you once you kind of like embrace one radical idea, then what's going to happen is it's going to become even more radical over time, and it's going to lead into the next natural course for that initial idea that was there. So it's like, again, so if you introduce a character like the shapeshifter, perhaps perhaps there's something there, that we kind of don't think about it every day, but perhaps even though the context was way different then, perhaps it's like the whole subconscious thing, right? In how certain ideas just will always mean something. Certain ideas, like we can say that this thing is, X thing is evil, or X thing is good, or Y thing is good, but then it's like, and then somebody will say, well, not everyone, but then it's like the rule to, like, the exceptions don't make the rules. The exceptions are proof of the rules because they're the exception, and by saying they're the exception is like they prove the rule, really, if anything. Because if you have something that's an exception, it's just proving the fact that it happens in one moment at a time. So let's not get too pedantic over this stuff, I guess. But yeah, let's go back to like the last quotation. So yeah, he was saying that stuff about how now it's like this more social thing, and then he says it was all there in Morph's character. Now it's become much such a social thing that I think people will be more sensitive to how it's used. That's the only difference, he says. So he's kind of not wrong, but at the same time, he's leaving out key context here. And I think that's always gets lost in these conversations online, because people have an emotional attachment to this stuff, like X-Men or Wonder Woman or Batman or Justice League, and I'm just using all those things as like a random example. I'm not saying they're all kind of serving one purpose, but it's like we all have emotional attachment to these things, and when it comes to that, we all want it to be kind of ours, when in reality sometimes you have to face the truth and realize that if you look at it historically, you can kind of look which each property, what it's supposed to represent and where it came from, or which ideals it is going to eventually represent down the line. So, and isn't it like crazy that the X-Men are basically supremacists now with the Krakoa thing? And I know that they just announced like a new relaunch for the X-Men for like the 50th time in the last 10 years, which is ridiculous. They're getting Gail Simone to write the main Uncanny X-Men book, which is crazy. It's like nobody wants to read that. I'm sorry. And then also, what's the other thing? I think like Al Ewig's wife is going to write one of the X-Men books. It's like, we don't even know who you are, lady. I think it's his wife, or maybe it's his sister, cousin, whatever. They have the similar last name, so it's probably a nepo thing. Okay, and so that was Eric, the head writer, and then at the end we had Julia, his wife, saying, "Did we teach people nothing? Were you not watching? as the Walt put it. Did we not figure out how to be nice to each other and how to get along? It's very odd to feel like we are still dealing with the same issues that we were dealing with 30 years ago. And so that's what she said. And Atlas says X-Men are inherently progressive. And I can see why you would say that. Like, again, I don't think that you're necessarily wrong. I think there's like a great argument to be made why that's the case. And I think it's really hard to argue against that. And when these ideas were being introduced, a lot of the stories were kind of made digestible for everyone. And that's why everyone kind of grew some sort of some emotional attachment to it. But then if you kind of look back at it and you look at the actual messaging, you can kind of piece it together that it's kind of more X-Men in particular. I think you can make a better case for other properties that they're not necessarily progressive, but I think X-Men, I think it's safe to say that they are, especially with Chris Claremont, and especially with the examples we've been giving you on this channel. And again, this isn't like a recent phenomenon with the Mystique and Destiny. Like Sir Diesel, even he kind of sent us the profile, not the profile image, but the screenshots of Destiny and Mystique going out together, and kind of like we read the whole passage in one of like the videos. I think it was the X-Men one, the first X-Men stream we did while we were doing Tomb Raider. I think that's the one where we kind of went over the page, and we saw that the exchange between them was very much, they were suggesting something, that there was a relationship there. And so again, that wasn't like every X-Men comic book. That was not the majority, but it still tells you what kind of mindset, who was defining these characters. And again, if you want to talk about who added that sort of element of civil rights, it was Chris Claremont. He just solidified that notion. If there was one before, I don't think there was one, but that's even irrelevant to the argument, because he is the guy who defined the X-Men, really. Before that, it was just dumpster fire. Like, I'm sorry. And I think a lot of people would actually agree with that if they read those stories. And Woodcap says it was in the last Young Justice season he did. Speaking about Greg Weisman, I hope Spectacular Spider-Man stays cancelled for this exact reason. Exactly. We talked about this as well in the last episode. So we're not going to just continue talking about Young Justice. And Parker Lego says he has not watched Young Justice. I think the first season of Young Justice is great. The second one is, when I go back to it, it's not as good, because I agree. I don't know if I should tell people, but there's something at the beginning, like the first episode, that opens and you're like, oh wait, they did something, like they tried to do like this bold storytelling thing where it's like they did something in between season 1 and season 2 that made the whole season 2 different. And when I was watching it originally, I didn't mind it, but then looking back at it, well, I did mind it originally, but I kind of let it go. And then season 2 just flows way different because you have way more characters, way more storylines. And I think if you kind of compare season 1 with season 2, I still kind of like season 2, right? There's so much good to be had there. However, I do think it's lacking a bit in terms of season 1, which was just great. And then season 2 just became more about the other characters. And this is probably why the later seasons, like season 3 and season 4, tried to go back to those original characters. But again, they totally ruined those characters in season 3 and season 4 because they added more messaging, because they were more preoccupied with telling a story about these messages, and also the creative choices with the stories themselves, with the characters that did not involve politics itself, even though for the most part it did in season 3 and 4. Even that was sort of whack. And Sir Diesel says Young Justice season 4 was one of the worst things I've ever watched. Wow. I don't think you've watched enough then. Stop the show after the One Atlantis episode. Poor Aqualad. Oh, what did they do to Aqualad? They actually had some balance back then. Now it will be as far left progressive. It will be far left progressive messaging. Uh, and then Sir Diesel continues saying people on both sides try to claim it is for their side, exactly, but the better stories can make it so everyone can find those commonalities in the stories. And the time jump was a huge mistake in Young Justice. Okay, well, I was trying not to say what the problem was in season 2, but I guess you just said it out loud. All that work, all that trying to dodge the bullet or not to trying to spoil it for anyone else, and you just had to say it. You just had to say it. Um, they literally have Lex Luthor shout out fake news at one point. Oh wow! See, I didn't even watch season 3 and season 4, but I've watched Sir Diesel's analysis, and I've read what he told me about it, and it's really bad. Nimbus, apparently hot take, never been that interested in Young Justice as a series. I think that's fair. I think it has its weaker episodes, so I can see that as well. Wait, time jump? How long we talking? I actually don't remember, but I remember it being considerably off-putting because you grew so attached to these characters in season 1, and then in season 2 you're introduced to this entire different crew. So it wasn't perhaps even the time jump. Well, of course, the time jump is what prompted this to happen. But you were introduced to an entire new cast of characters that pissed you off because you're like, hey, I like those guys. Bring those guys back. And that's the thing about Young Justice Season 1 is it ended on a note where they were also promising like more, like with Zatanna and Rocket, let's just say. I'm going to put it this way. We wanted to see more of those characters as well, but once you got to season 2, suddenly it's the creative choices are different with those characters. They're put in different teams. Let's just say it that way. Young Justice came back and was ass. A complete waste of time with no payoff. 2 useless seasons. Never saw the Fabulous Five. I think that's what you're saying. OG Teen Titans. Never saw the actual OG Young Justice trio or Fab 4 link up. Fab. Okay. We're using that word now. Wasted Static Shock. Wasted Artemis. Says that was all Steven, by the way. And yeah. I think I was watching these clips of season 3 or season 4 Static, and he became like this loser who had no girlfriend, and he kept being extremely awkward around the people who did have girlfriends and boyfriends, and it was extremely cringy. Nimbus, the time skip was 5 years. Ooh, that was rough. Yeah, 5 years is a lot. It's Avengers Endgame all over again. Ooh. Okay, I want to watch this clip with you guys. It's a Batman clip. Apparently, some of you guys have been saying it's really cool. So, let's watch this clip, what it is, and let's see what it's all about. It better be good. It's a video called Cold Message, a Batman Gotham's Renegade Story in Unreal Engine. Try to, because I'm gonna dump this thing on the video side of things on here on OBS, so perhaps it's going to blow your ears in the first second. Hopefully it's not going to do that, but let's see. So turn down your volume considerably for a sec once you see it come on screen. So turn down the volume and just get back to it. Okay, it wasn't so bad, I think. Hopefully. Alright, I'm going to be watching this with you guys. I'm going to be live reacting to this. With this amazing... Well, hopefully is amazing. It's not very long. It's only like 1.5 minutes long. So I'm curious to see what this is. And yeah, you guys keep talking about Young Justice because I think it's really sad what happened to that show. All right. I guess it's for the best then. I guess it is. Which, who knows what happens with Season 5. I assume some of you will be able to tell me. Is Season 5 still a thing? Is it? That's the other thing. I hate it when they bring stuff back, like Shenmue 3, which I have no emotional attachment, because it was finally going to close off the story, and it wasn't only a bad game, but it didn't even bother to finish the story. It was teasing one more season, or one more game. And at that point, it's like, you're disgraceful. You should have your head in the sand for telling us. You know, it's like, obviously, we wanted to see more of this. But you should be just thankful that you had one more chance, one more season, one more game to tell your story, because guess what? You might not be able to tell it again. So it's even a miracle you got a return. And now, it's like, who knows if it's going to end. Anyway, let's watch this clip.
Forget about your oath. Your promise to Gotham.
It's in Unreal Engine, by the way. Unreal Engine 5. Was that Deathstroke?
It was never meant to last. The years have made you tired, but you know I'll never rest.
Okay. I can see what they're doing.
It's never polite to keep your parents waiting. That's where you belong, with the rest of the Waynes. I'll give you the proper end you so deserve. Consider it as a gift.
Okay. I don't know why I was expecting more. Deathstroke will face Batman in Batman Gotham Renegade? Oh, so is this going to be a series? What is this whole thing about the Batman Gotham Renegade? Sounds interesting. Like, if this is a teaser, then consider me interested. I think it's going to be like a spiritual successor to what was supposed to be of the Batman movie by Ben Affleck, because as some of you may know, that was supposed to be the movie. It was supposed to be Deathstroke versus Batman in his movie, and that got scrapped, of course, because Ben Affleck was getting sick and tired of Batman for whatever reason. He was going through a lot at the time with his personal relationship, but still, come on, man. That's not cool. Some people just are not as grateful as they should be, but then again, it's like, if you're not a fan of Batman, then maybe it's different for them. It's like, I guess it's like, I understand why. Like, Henry Cavill is a huge fan of Warhammer 40k and The Witcher, right? But he's not really a huge fan of Superman the way he is with those properties. So I assume he's more happy playing characters in those movies and shows than, or at least he was going to be theoretically, since he didn't think that Netflix would ruin those properties. But he was probably looking forward to it more than with Superman, whereas he saw Superman as a point of, getting his name out there, as a stepping stone for his career. And that's good. You can't be always a fan of everything, right? So it's like, okay, we can't blame Henry Cavill for not being like this Superman geek, right? It's like, everyone has to be a fan of something, and you can't be a fan of everything. Otherwise, you're a poser. But yeah, that looks pretty cool for a teaser. Consider me interested. Let's see what you guys are saying then. Back to Young Justice a bit. Not to my knowledge, just wasted that as well. Responding to Nimbus, who said, that was Steven, responding to Nimbus, who said, did Young Justice ever follow up the Jason Todd tease as a masked Ra's al Ghul fighter. I don't even remember that. Weird. Sir Diesel, no, Jason Todd was never had any arc in the show. That's what I thought, see? Unless it happened in the last 3 episodes I didn't watch. I guess, so that was Sir Diesel, and Nimbus says, I guess it's for the best then. Steven says, I hope Young Justice never comes back. And Sir Diesel says, there was no season 5. They axed it. See, that's the problem. You should have just wrapped up the entire story with season 3, because they were supposed to do, if you remember correctly, there was a cliffhanger at the end of Young Justice season 2, which teased Lex Luthor teaming up with Darkseid. And from what I learned is that they didn't even bother doing it in season 3 or 4. So again, same thing with Shemnu 4 and Shemnu 3. It's like you should have just ended the story then, because you wouldn't have been able to. Who knows if you at that time? Who knows if you could have finished that story? You didn't, and you could have, and you didn't because what? Because you thought you were going to do more, even though your show barely survived on its own. Ah, man, these creators are just. I don't know what it is. I guess it's hubris, right? They have to be just so confident in their own abilities. Maybe they just want to get more work. But as a creative person, it would just kill me from the inside. That's the first thing I would do. Just end the story that I introduced and I teased, and end it there, you know? And then if somebody says we want another season, then maybe I would do like a 4th season, maybe. Right? But then it's like, maybe not. Maybe I would just leave at that point because the story has been told. And if I do a season 4, I would keep it to that season. I would keep it contained. Just as season 1 was, you know? So again, you could have done a season 4 as well. From what I can tell, it's a trailer for this guy's project. Hopefully, it's not a case of EA video games where it's like the trailer versus the actual product, which is garbage, usually. Steven, I think Cavill resigned himself to defeat with Superman. Do you mean like he resigned The Witcher so that he could stick with The Rock and the Superman deal? Because that sounds like probably what was going to happen, and you're probably right, but then James Gunn pulled the plug on that. Hoske, I hate Deathstroke as a Batman villain. Agreed, Slade is a Teen Titans villain, and if we want to get specific to one hero, I will say this till the end of all time. He is a Dick Grayson villain, a Robin villain, a Nightwing villain. You can't have it any other way. And I do think if there's one thing I appreciate about like the recent DC comics is that they were trying to make Nightwing like one of the big superheroes, which he really is. You can't deny that Dick Grayson is like perhaps even like top 3, top 5 characters. Just like the recognizability of Robin, you cannot deny how that character, Nightwing, not as much, right? But he's still then top 5, top 6 DC characters. So Dick Grayson on his own is, just top tier character who deserves to be a force to be reckoned with. And guess what? I think it was the Dark Crisis. That's what it was called. It was an awful story, of course. Make no mistake. But I think it was Tom Taylor, another person who I despise his work. Let's just put it that way. He did. He tried to make Deathstroke his villain. Again, going back to that, what should be the case. And again, that's what it should be. So seeing Deathstroke as a Batman villain, I agree. That's just inappropriate. I'm sorry. That should not be the case. I do like it when other villains cross over with other heroes. So I'm not like opposed to seeing Deathstroke fight. I'm not opposed to him fighting Batman. But you should always remember that he is not his main villain. He's not in his main rogues gallery. Not at all. I need the years on Batman to be longer. What are his years? I think they were definitely going for like a Batfleck vibe with this. There we go. Hold on. I guess that's the best shot we're gonna get at this.
It was never meant to last.
Okay, we kind of saw that there. Okay, yeah, it looks like the Pattinson outfit. A mixture of like a Pattinson outfit with the Ben Affleck outfit. Yeah, because look at his collar. It looks kind of like it looks like a mishmash of everything. Like kind of. Wait, does he have a collar? Well, his chest plate looks like Pattinson, and then from behind he sort of looked like him. But then, of course, he then looks like Ben Affleck a little bit, and then, of course, the Arkham Origins version of the characters as well. Yeah. So before we go back to Zoom, I was gonna say Zoom. Before we go back to Doom, which I think we should. Let's see. I think we like completed 4 missions, which is, I think that's pretty good, right? Um. So before we go back to it, I did want to go listen to Zack Snyder a little bit because I really wanted to do it and we missed out on it last time when he was on his Joe Rogan podcast. But then you guys are saying a lot of cool stuff. I'm sorry, I just got to read these comments. Uh, let's see, there's a lot. So it was pretty depressing, Nimbus says. Around that time for Affleck with him releasing films like Live by Night and all the questions he ever was getting were about Batman, which could be pretty draining, I guess, but that's like what you sign up for. That's something you should make. I think he just wanted to be in Zack Snyder's vision, and then he didn't want to be involved in anything else. He wanted to star in nothing but Zack Snyder films. But, if you're playing Batman, then you have to be self-aware enough, or at least aware of the fact that you're going to have to play him in other stuff, because Batman just being a supporting character is not going to go well, right? So, or just being like a team character. No, we want to see solo movies, and that's what's expected of everyone, and that's what's everyone's going to be asking about. So that's on him. Sir Diesel, they should have just finished up the Darkseid arc and ended it with Young Justice. Yes, agreed. As if his efforts outside of Batman were meaningless. Plus, the alcohol problem wouldn't have helped him feel better about that. Again, that's on him. I'm sorry. Like, okay, you can have an alcohol problem, but he seems to be fine now, and I don't think that Batman would have been the problem. I don't think that would have been the thing that, kept him. I guess what would be like a way of saying it. I don't think that would have like contributed to his problems. Maybe it would have been more press on him, more attention, which he has been getting regardless. But it's like, yeah, his other movies, they were kind of a hit or miss. The creators outsmart themselves, says Sir Diesel, and Steven says, I think the only property that came back and delivered was Kid Icarus. Sakurai took an OK 2D platformer and made it into an on-rail shooter with an ground shooting and melee, 9 weapon classes. That sounds interesting. It came out for the 3DS. Still waiting for a new Kid Icarus, says Far Cry Lego. And then Steven says, Kid Icarus also came back with powers and good online modes. Surprised that Kid Icarus and Metroid didn't become Nintendo's main shooters. I don't think Nintendo has any shooters. I guess Splatoon is the big one now. But still, I guess they're supporting that. Yeah, I guess. Hopefully we get that on the next Nintendo console and a Metroid Prime game. Those 2 franchises have the basis for good online multiplayer. We need a Metroid Prime 4 to release on the Switch like they were supposed to. Like they promised us it would be on the Switch. So it has to be. Okay. So yeah, let's get to those comments by Snyder before we go overtime again. But last time we did it because we had to finish the Arkham games. Okay, cool. Let me just find those clips. Pom pom pom. So I think last time, what do we have here? Oh right, I gotta turn this off. You are disappeared. You are a gunner. We do not want the X-Men stuff. Okay, we have the panels again. And I think
The Joe Rogan experience.
But it's interesting to see
this is what we watched
there's,
last time, right?
like such a
So let's finish this clip because again, it goes back to like Zack Snyder saying that Batman should be allowed to kill, or he should be allowed to be put in those positions where he may or may not kill. I agree. I think that makes for an interesting story. And we went over it again, instances where back in the 80s it was permissible for him to kill. So let's just finish this clip because we didn't even finish it last time, interestingly enough. Oh, you know what? Let me ask, since there's like so many of you right now, let's poll this. Okay? And then I'll ask people on Twitch independently, should Batman kill? The first option is going to be yes. So you just think yes, he can outright kill people, murder. There we go. Then we're gonna have no. No kill rule. No killing rule. Absolutist. And then no. But there are exceptions. So you have 3 options to choose from. Should there be a fourth one? Let me know if there should be a fourth one. But the question is, should Batman kill? The first option is yes. Killer, pants on fire. And then number 2 is going to be no. No killing rule. He is a no killing rule absolutist. And then the third option is going to also be no. But the third option is going to be, but there are exceptions. So he doesn't kill, but there are exceptions to, like minor exceptions to when he can kill. And I'm curious to see what you guys will say. Is there going to be a fourth option? I guess not. Like, what would be the fourth option? Hosky on Twitch says, wasn't Bruce 8 when his parents were killed? This would mean Bruce is an 80s baby. I think it showed in the trailer that they died in the 90s, 92, which is an interesting year. For that to be the year in which they die. So voting for the third option. Okay, well, keep that to yourself, sir, because, okay, then fine, start poll, since you guys don't want a fourth option. And now you can vote. There you go. Good. Yeah. Okay, so maybe some of you will feel differently after Snyder talks. Maybe some of you will be just so pissed off by what he's saying, you'll just go in one way than the other, but let's watch this stuff.
Not irrelevant if he can't be in that situation.
Okay, and here's the thing about when he says, no, it's fine, I'm just messing with you. When he says, you know, I guess let's put it back. Because he's saying, okay, well, there are Batman fans who are saying you can never have Batman kill. And he's going to make a comparison that the reason why is that you're turning Batman into this perfect god. You're trying to protect your god is the words he's going to use.
And like people are always like, well, Batman can't kill, right? So Batman can't kill is canon. And I'm like, okay, well, the first thing I want to do when you say that is I want to see what happens. And they go like, well, don't put him in a situation where he has to kill someone. I'm like, well, that's just like, you're protecting your God in a weird way, right? You're making your God irrelevant if he can't be in that situation. He has to now deal with that.
So the whole thing about when he says God, some people have went on to misrepresent him and say that he's comparing Batman to a god. No, I think the argument he's making here is that people have made Batman out into a god by trying to almost like protect him like they are God. You know how oftentimes people will make like arguments like, oh, why did God do this in the Bible? Why did he flood the entire earth? Why did he kill people? Why did he even create the bad fruit in the Garden of Eden? And it's like people who defend him, I guess that's the approach he's taking. You know, I guess that's what he means when he's saying this. He's like, don't try to make Batman your god, because then it becomes ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, if he does do that, what does that mean? What does it tell you? But does he stand up to it? Can he survive that? Right? As a god, as your god, can Batman survive that?
I never thought that was canon, that Batman can't kill. But
Well, for a lot of people, it is.
that seems ridiculous given the circumstances in which he operates.
Yeah, well,
And I'll
Okay, so we have Sir Diesel, and I'm gonna challenge every single one to see if maybe, I don't know if you can go back and change your vote. I don't think you can. Once you vote, it's over. So Sir Diesel says, I think Batman is the type of person who can find a way around having to kill in that situation. You're saying in that situation, which suggests it's always the same situation. But what it's like, okay, he throws a batarang that always comes back and hits somebody at the back of their head. So then you're saying, okay, well then it's like, is that really always going to be the confrontation? Not really. So can he always find a way around the problem? And so if you're going to ask that, I guess think about that as well. And then Nimbus says, do you consider Bale leaving Ra's to die on the train in Batman Begins to be a kill? That's an interesting question. I think it is, since he could have saved him possibly, but chose not to and allowed Ra's actions to undo him. Isn't that called like involuntary murder, I think? Maybe? I'm messing up perhaps the legal speak on this one. But you know, was that a heroic thing to do? Again, playing the devil's advocate here. Is that something Batman should do or would do in that situation? Is it something heroic to leave a bad guy behind like that? It's like, why couldn't he have just, taken him with him, try to take him out with him, and then knock him out at the end? And then Steven says, best thing Snyder ever did, comic book wise, was make Rorschach more sympathetic, which pissed off Alan Moore, who made Rorschach too crap on Ditko's question. That's true, and I think people just like Rorschach regardless in those comic books. But he skyrocketed into popularity even more because of Snyder. That was hilarious. I agree. But interestingly enough, Alan Moore criticizes everything that's an adaptation of his work. But the reasoning, it's interesting. He says he was upset that the new Watchmen show, which was obviously very left-wing and progressive, he was upset that they were trying to do like they were trying to make fun of Rorschach and make him out to be like, Rorschach has his own cult in that TV series by HBO. And he has his own cult of followers. And it's supposed to be like this Trump supporter spin Christians, right? And Alan Moore criticized that about the show. He's like, I don't like that. It's like, that's not what I wrote the character for. So at that point, I'm like, okay, then what did you write the character for at this point? I don't even know. Because you would think he would approve of that depiction, but I guess not. He didn't like it being pushed in either way, I guess. He's just a very, it has to be my way sort of.
Don't read the comments right now. Don't read the comments.
Honestly, I think Alan Moore is just kind of somewhat butthurt about DC, so he's just gonna destroy anything that's DC related.
Yeah.
This
seems ridiculous.
It's well, I mean, and there's this huge so in Dark Knight Returns, there's a scene where, and I copied it kind of in Batman versus Superman, where he don't win
So we
because we
watched
don't want
that.
to see him lose. Like, we can't see him.
Okay, so now he's going to talk
No,
about the you
that's a cool
can't see him
character
lose.
move. But like that's kind of how I felt. That's what they would say. Don't do that to Batman. Don't put him in a no-win situation.
Okay, so that's something I used to also believe. So I guess people already made up their mind. I don't see the votes change, so I can obviously reveal. And you guys know my take on this probably is that I think that Batman is allowed to kill in those rare exceptions. So I do think that the third option is also my take on this situation because it's been accurate, and I think this whole thing that Batman is a no-kill rule absolutist. That's a recent phenomenon, and that's taken over the 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 perception of the character uh to a very unhealthy take. Because then it's like, okay, you read the crossover of Punisher. There's a crossover of Punisher and the Joker and Batman, and the Punisher is about to kill the Joker, and then Batman comes in. He swoops in to save the Joker from the Punisher, and I'm like just sitting there, and I'm like, this is so ridiculous. It's like, as a person who used to be like, oh yeah, Batman cannot kill, but then once you see like somebody like Punisher come in and try to kill the Joker and get rid of him, at that point I'm like, well, maybe it's a good thing to kill the Joker. Just look the other way. Just pretend that you did not see the Punisher just approach the Joker. Just close your one eye, your right eye. Look. Use your left eye to look somewhere else, and just let this one slide for a bit. Just let the Joker die this once. It's not gonna hurt anybody. I promise you, Bruce. It's gonna be all right. And when you watch that scene when you read that scene, when Punisher's about to kill the Joker and then Batman swoops in, you just kind of sit there and you think, Bruce, Batman, you're so lame. It's like, how many more people have to die just because the Joker has to? Just because of this no-kill rule. Just let him die, okay? No one cares about the Joker. And I think the way you can always have it play out is like, okay, Batman won't kill the Joker himself, but he wouldn't mind somebody else trying to kill him. And it's like policemen exist, right? How come Batman is willing to put up with all these other policemen like Commissioner Gordon, or when he teams up with them, how come he's okay with them shooting? And then somebody will reference, oh, the Batman movie, and it's like so ridiculous. Bruce has been working with so many different superheroes who do kill, and even when he's like, right, yeah, they do kill, and it's like, what do we expect him to do? Do we expect him to walk up to every single superhero during like this giant crossover event and say, but remember guys, don't kill because I'm here? And then what? It's like ridiculous. It's this whole thing about him being a no kill rule absolutist. If you even think about it from that perspective, it's ridiculous. It's like, even if you go about it in a way where you try to ignore it, eventually it's just going to be impossible not to ignore it. You can always ignore it in the stories of Batman, but then if you do like a Justice League story, right? It's like, okay, all these other characters kill, and then Bruce decides to say nothing about it. Okay, then clearly he must be able to accept it in some shape or form, because guess what? It's like, again, with war and fighting all these different people, aliens as well, people will die. So but then it's like the argument is just don't write it that way. And I used to think that just characters have integrity, and I still believe that. Certain characters don't need to be written, they don't need to be put in certain scenarios. You have to keep them true to what they are. They should be just the characters themselves. And characters are supposed to represent ideas as well as personalities, as well as emotions, but they're also supposed to represent ideas. So you can't have Batman piss himself, because that's just going to make him look bad, and the idea of the Batman is going to become less effective, that entire mythology of the character. You want Batman to be this badass strong hero who has his his darkness, and you're supposed to take him seriously. and if you have him piss himself, or if you have him in the dress, that's just going to go against the character, even though you can always think of a context that's going to serve your story. You can put him in the dress, in the pink dress, and you can say, well, there was this story related reason as to why this makes sense. No, it's stupid. You can't do that. Characters have their own integrity. And so when it comes to the no-kill rule, I used to believe this was the exact same thing. And then the other things, like I told you about, it's like him teaming up with other heroes and then watching that scene play out with the Punisher. But then somebody will say, just don't write the story with him fighting the Punisher, or with him with the Punisher, or don't have Red Hood trying to kill the Joker, and then Bruce will not be put in these scenarios where he's made to look bad because you're protecting his integrity. But then it's like, once you do that, then it's like, again, eventually you'll run into a wall where you're going to have to answer this question. But Zack Snyder has his own answer to this question.
Because we don't want to see him lose. Like, we can't see him lose. He has to maintain this godlike status. And that's what the cool thing about Frank Miller.
So he's saying godlike status. I think he's kind of over-exaggerating what it is that fans want. They just want like this version of the character to stay this way. And he's referring to it as a godlike status, which I disagree, because God kills. You know, if you're looking at it from like a biblical standpoint, I guess. Would you consider? Yeah, he can kill, I would say. So I think when it comes to Batman, he's looking at it from like a weird. He's dressing it up in weird words, I would say. But just try to stay with his sentiment, right?
Frank Miller said, "Fuck it, I want to see who this guy like. If a guy, so you're saying to me that I've got a gun to this kid's head. You're Batman. There's no move. There's no trick. There's no throwing the batarang. There's no a dust ball to distract me. Like, I've just got to pull the trigger and I kill this kid." So you're saying in that scenario, what's Batman supposed to do? Right?
Right.
Yeah, he's going to lay down his gun. What's he going to do? Like, it's the guy says to him, "I'll do it. I swear it."
I believe you is perfect.
Yeah, I believe you. And
I believe you. Yeah.
So I'm just like, that's where like Frank takes Batman and just tears him in half.
Yeah.
And you've got to now come out the other side of that. And Batman is still the hero. Batman still does the right thing. He maintains his code, he doesn't change, but like our perception of him changes. And I think that's like I have run afoul of, but a lot of the fandom who have gotten to the same place I have with the characters where they need to test them to like, and
I also think like testing for testing's sake, or to be just overtly trying to like mess with the characters. I think that's also stupid, because then you're trying to do a deconstruction. That's not what these characters are for. So I think overdoing it as well, which is what has happened with Frank Miller. I think that's the trap there. But I don't think like depicting Batman in a killing sense is necessarily a deconstruction, because again, there are comic books, there are panels you can point to and say, this is him talking about how, like Sir Diesel says, in the legal sense, people are allowed to self-defense, so Batman killing in that circumstance could make sense. And there are panels of Bruce saying this exact same thing. He's like, self-defense is the only option. Obviously, Batman would probably do everything to avoid that, but I guess he would if forced. And there are panels of Bruce saying that, self-defense is like the last resort. And I guess it's like when you're trying to save a baby who is innocent, who can't help itself. A baby is like this specially protected class, and you have to. That's almost like an equivalent of self-protection, I would say.
I feel like the characters, it's been my experience that the characters have not let us down. Like, these myths have not let us down. You put them to the ragged edge into that scenario, and they come out the other side, and you're like, fuck yeah, there's a reason why Superman is Superman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like, he can handle it. He can fucking take it, because he's so iconic. Like you see like the red S, you go anywhere in the world with that Superman t-shirt on, anywhere. And you say to any kid, like, what's this? Oh, that's Superman. Yeah, exactly. Like, that means something. That's like fucking cool.
Well, not only that, it's one of our first ever superheroes.
So yeah, they go on talking about Superman, and I guess we can finish this clip because there's not a lot left. But Steven says something about Rorschach again. Alan Moore made Rorschach specifically to criticize Ayn Rand's individualism, as he is a collectivist. Yes. And he continues saying Alan Moore didn't make him to crap on conservatism, but specifically individualism. My take, at least, which is true. Individual, like the whole individualists, which is closer to libertarianism, really. That's like not conservatism. Those are two different things. But I think the way the character has been characterized, with the whole the whole Ayn Randism, or however, it's like Randism, it's like, especially how Ditko approached it. There was like, because I think in a lot of ways in the 30s, there was like basically morality was gray in media, and the Great Depression took a toll on people. The whole is it Randism? Is that what it's called? The movement from Ayn Rand? Randism? I don't think it's Randism. I think it was something else, I guess. But that whole movement, objectivist movement, it was about defining the good and the bad. So especially how Ditko approached it, it was almost like a response to the collectivist, like you said, response to the collectivist approach. And then the objectivists were about there is black and white. So it's good and bad, and that's why Rorschach has a white and black mask, because it's, good and bad. But the reason why it's a Rorschach, it's because it's supposed to be a subversion of that, right? You have black on white, but because it's a Rorschach is very hard to distinguish. So again, even that sort of design for the character was meant to sort of mock the whole objectivist approach. And so that was the whole thing with Steve Ditko. He was very much about there is right and wrong, there is objective right and wrong. And again, if you're a conservative, you would agree with that notion. But the faults of Ayn Rand's movement is that it's very much about the individual kind of coming in. And so that's where some of it kind of separates from conservatism. And so what else did I want to see on this part? Alan Moore. Oh yeah, but then it's like Rorschach and a lot of Ditko's characters. So basically you can see how these sort of represent conservative ideals, and I guess you could say like libertarianism and conservatism have a lot of overlaps. But once you get to certain details, you can see how there are fundamentals that have to be distinguished, and you have to say, all right, those are like kind of two different things. If it's like about what sort of mindset you have about, or like how do you define morality. And then if you look at it from like an individual perspective, then it's going to be different from the conservative one, which is kind of like it's kind of both, really. It's both like from a Christian perspective, it's both about the individual as well as your neighbor, as well as your community, as well as your collective, unity and all that stuff. So that was in the 80s and 90s, says Far Cry Lego. That happened in 1994. The 90s. What are you referring to? Are you talking about the death of the Waynes from that clip, or are you referring to the panel I was referencing about the self-defense? Clarify, Far Cry Lego, because I'm very slow. And so let's just read these as fast as I can. The older I get, the more I'm on Jason's side in Under the Red Hood, at least in terms of argument with Bruce towards the end. So you have to read the comic book, because I've heard that the comic book is a little bit different. So, and I forget for what reasons, but perhaps it might be even the whole killing thing. Perhaps the conversation plays out a bit differently. Maybe. maybe not. Bruce is even fine with Alfred using guns, I think. There's that comic storyline, Brother to the Bat, where Alfred's got a shotgun in Bane's jaw on a cover. There you go. Like, and even just like the whole policeman, it's like so many people use guns in the world, and clearly they're not going to go insane, right? So that whole thing is just too much for me. Okay, so if it's okay, so we have Sir Dietzel, who is definitely pro no killing rule at all, I think, maybe. Okay, so if it's okay for Batman to do this in circumstances, what about Superman? Should he not have snapped Zod's neck, or do we think he was justified? I think if we're talking about like Man of Steel, I think this is the problem with. I think it's like a different problem where it's like they were trying to cram in too much into the movie. I think you could have perhaps done something there, had you maybe build it up. But it's like an origin movie for Superman. That's not what you should be kind of focusing on. You should be focusing on about defining what the fundamentals of the characters are, and then maybe in like the third film, maybe the second film, maybe then you could be kind of doing that, and then it shouldn't be at the very end of the movie where it's kind of like he snapped his neck, and in that instance, without it being set up, or even there was no build up really. It was just like a very in the moment situation that was done at the very end, and then it's like and then they move on from it. I think that was Zack trying to kind of have his way even with Superman before he kind of overdid it with Batman in BVS. He was already trying to cram in stuff that was sort of not there. It's very much about, since again these are exceptions and exceptions prove the rules, as we've established in this stream, then in the case of Zack Snyder, or in the case of Batman, again, the no-kill rule is still a no-kill rule, but there are exceptions. So, it's like sometimes there are things where you can kind of say, right, like the self-defense thing, or saving a child who is about to get their entire head blown out. But to kind of like not even reference Zack Snyder's awful creative choice, because I think you're still asking a very fair question. Like, maybe just kind of think of a different scenario where Superman could kill somebody in a better storyline, since we've seen Batman do it in certain comic books. Then let's say Superman were put in that same situation in a better storyline, perhaps, or a storyline that builds up to it or has room for it to breathe. I think that's what it really comes down to. Is there a room for it to breathe, and do other characters acknowledge it? And I think that's what is important there, that the Zack Snyder movies did not have. So let's say we have that sort of storyline for Superman. Would it be okay for Superman to kill somebody in that case? If Batman is allowed to have his exceptions, is Superman allowed to have them? And I would say, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't he? It's like, why wouldn't Superman have an exception? If Batman is allowed to have it, why isn't Superman allowed to have it? And I think he'd be justified if it was in a very similar situation. And I guess you could say at the end of Man of Steel, it was very much about, he did try to make it so that there was no other way, even though I think there could have been a different way. But even if you are going to say there was no other way to, it was either you kill this guy or this family dies. I think that's what he was trying to do. But again, I think that just it was extremely rushed at the end of the film. Yeah. So, Steven, reminder that Nightwing killed Joker for Jason, Babs, and Tim. He thought Joker killed him, and Huntress and Batman revived him. Which storyline was this? Far Cry Lego, Superman could send him into space. Oh, you're saying that Superman would have sent Zod to space? Kind of, not really, because it's like, okay, I'll send you to space, but then you're going to come back from space and just kill the rest of us. That's why the Phantom Zone exists. That's why it's there. If kryptonite exists to make Superman weaker, Phantom Zone exists to just put the villain away for a second and not compromise Superman's ideals, his profound important, um keeping him family friendly. Even though killing, I guess you could say it's not family friendly. uh but again, it's like, why didn't they just use the Phantom Zone? They sure used it for everyone else, but then not just Zod, because again, this was Zack Snyder who made that decision to have that fight in the end, which you could have had that fight, right? But then you could have also sucked him into the Phantom Zone. But they wanted to just kind of shove in an entire neck snap, and that was lame. Let's see. So no one is hurt, Parker Lego says. I think killing Zod was justified, Sir Diesel, but I'm probably in the minority. I think most people would say it was not justified. But I think, again, maybe if you had presented it differently, because there's even the comic book where Superman and Batman are having a conversation, and again, I think it's in that very much the post era of that. Yes, Batman is a no killing rule absolutist, but then interestingly enough, in that storyline, which I'd have to find, but I think it's Superman and Batman talking on a farm, and it's actually Superman who says that he would be the one who would go there, that one extra step, and that Batman would just never make that choice to kill somebody, which is weird. It's like, either way, it's like, why are you guys even having this conversation? I guess, again, it comes down to writers just not, I think writers are just being cheap. So instead of just writing a cool story, they want to have a conversation about these characters' philosophy. And I think that can be cool. But if you're just forcing these characters to be something they're not, just to have that sort of back and forth, then that's just lazy writing. Because you're just making up stuff at that point. I think Sir Diesel fans just want consistency and honor towards the source material. Yeah, I think we can all agree with that. And Nimbus says, I think he's pretty spot on with that point. The amount of fans that put Batman up on a pedestal as someone who can't fall and will find a way around every situation. It sometimes becomes he uses the word God, and I kind of knocked him for it. But then again, people call Batman almost like a god, Bat God, right? Even Jeff Johns had to acknowledge it in a later storyline. They turned him into this somebody who can beat anyone with prep time. And Batman fans have a tendency of doing that all the time. So, true. Although with the no killing rule, I can also see why that would be a special case of it's like, that should be like the bare minimum, where it's like, this character should not kill. Sir Diesel, I agree with him to a certain degree, but I feel like his motivation for doing it was just to go against the grain and be different. Agreed. That's why that Man of Steel sequence just fell flat on its face, to push against the norms. And that's the Ayn Rand school of thought. Just be different and kind of push against which Zack Snyder is a fan of hers, by the way. Isn't it interesting how it always comes full circle? And maybe that's why he made Rorschach so prominent, and he made him even more personable in that story. We talked about Alan Moore, then killing, then Batman, and then we're back to the Watchmen and Rorschach. I can totally see that, not to honor the character or make a good addition to the mythos. And then Nimbus says, it does seem like that from his words. I don't know. I think Zack Snyder is saying something that he thinks sounds good, but then when he says it, it's you can hear his obsession with trying to be different, because he says it in this interview himself, where he's like, I grew up on Frank Miller, I grew up on some other dude, and once you read those storylines, once you read The Dark Knight Returns, once you read The Watchmen, there's no way of going back. And so once he says stuff like that, he kind of just he exposes himself. And he kind of tells on himself by saying, oh, right, so you just kind of want to push past that. And he's saying this himself in this interview. He's saying, I want to take it to the next level. So he is trying to really take it further. He's not necessarily trying to be considerate of the fans. And Sir Diesel says, yeah, because he's like, oh, you want Batman like this? So, well, let me do it the opposite way instead. Again, that's like a different, that's like another quote he said that's kind of, that kind of points to the fact that, you know, Snyder is just kind of saying stuff that he should not be saying if he really thought that he wanted to do something for the fans or to do something that's consistent for the character. And Nimbus says, yeah, I can get that 100%. I was more so referring to him mentioning that some fans hold Batman as someone who shouldn't fall ever, which is a really lame take on his character, at least for me. And I agree with that, but when it comes to the no-kill rule, I think that's a bit of a distraction. And I think Snyder is using that distraction. He's trying to say, well, Batman fans are constantly trying to put this guy on a pedestal, and therefore I should be able to do this. And I think you're just that's a non sequitur. I don't think either one has anything to do with one another. It's like the no killing rule should be the bare minimum. And then if you're trying to say, well, you're trying to make a god out of him, not really. That should be the rule. Stick to it, and everyone's gonna be happy. Oh, he said Batman and Punisher, Far Cry Lego says, clarifying his earlier stance, which was, I'm trying to go back, and I think you said Superman couldn't have sent him into space. Oh, that was in the 90s. That happened in 94. Yeah. And even that was ridiculous. Because I did say it was like a 90s thing, but you know, in the 90s, I guess, is when it started to shift somewhat. Under the Red Hood is one of the, but then again, it's like it stems from like this lazy storytelling that was not even true to begin with, but they wanted to have some sort of conflict between Bruce and Frank, and they're like, oh, let's just make this one totally unhinged by trying to come up with this solution. So it's like, no. I think a lot of it stems from just people being lazy with the writing. Sir Diesel, Under the Red Hood is one of the closest adaptations they've made. One for one as far as I can remember. I think I had like one friend of mine say there was like a slight change to the characters. And I guess you're saying 1-to-1 because I think because superhero fans are just kind of used to getting the worst, like the short end of the stick, because we usually have these adaptations that are total opposites, that once we get like a quote-unquote 1-to-1 adaptation, we just think it's totally accurate. But when you look at somebody like book fans or anime fans, whenever they get an adaptation, they usually get 1-to-1 attempts, right? They usually try to follow the story, but even then, that's not enough for book fans. Even then, that's not enough for anime fans, rightfully so, because even though it seems like a 1-to-1, sometimes there are details omitted, or sometimes there are crucial beats missing that do change the context of something. Hoskey says, Wonder Woman, there's a reason I don't have a list of villains as long as Bruce's or Barry's or even yours. When I deal with them, I deal with them, Superman. I trust you're not talking about killing them, Diana. Wonder Woman says, only if it comes to that. And Hoskey says, I think this should apply to Batman, but, quote unquote, in a mocking voice, Batman shouldn't kill. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Wonder Woman because that's another instance of writers being lazy, because they're trying to make they're trying to spin the fact that she has lame villains by saying that she kills them. No, your villains aren't just lame. Sorry, Diana. Stop trying to make some sort of excuse for her as to why uh she has a short list of of villains, right? Uh no, just you don't have that big of a list of villains. It's interesting how she never mentioned Green Lantern, or Aquaman. Aquaman kills, and then sure he has a short list of villains. Green Lantern kills. So yeah, let's talk Aquaman. He has like a short list of villains, but again, you never see Aquaman complaining that about like Superman or Batman killing, because Aquaman recognizes the fact that he has a very short list of. It's a very short list of his rogues gallery, and so he's not gonna be making excuses like Diana would be. And then for what's his name, Hal Jordan, he kills, right? Right? I think he does. Of course he does. And so yeah, he definitely kills. Uh, and so he has a long list of villains because there's always someone coming up. There are villains who outsmart him. There are ways to write a person who kills in a way that's compelling. So Diana, stop making excuses for yourself. I'm so over you right now. Let's see. You guys, I want to play the clip. Let's play this clip. This is a great discussion, by the way.
Literally.
Yeah, I mean, just think of the name. It's so unoriginal. Superman.
It's the most, you couldn't think of that today. That's
It's
not
so
a
ridiculous.
You can't do that
I
today.
know. If you tried to come up with a Superman today, everybody, shut the
Superman?
fuck
That's
up.
horrible.
That's your guy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, come
Yeah.
on, man. We've got so many different interesting
But
characters
that's why the Trinity, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, are so powerful,
Wonder Woman is a token of that trinity.
because they're literally, obviously, the origin
Yeah.
concept, right? Wonder Woman,
Literally, yeah.
Batman. Batman is the only anomaly because he's like a Batman. Like, what does that mean?
Right.
Like,
He doesn't even have powers.
yeah, he's just like he's half bat. Like, what is that?
He's just got a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think Wonder Woman's the anomaly, since it's like he's trying to make Batman the anomaly, but in reality, the Trinity goes by popularity. It's Superman was popular, Batman was popular, and then they were like, over time, they were like, oh, let's put Wonder Woman in here because we need a woman to fill the quota of our Trinity or whatever. Which again, Trinity is a late concept when it comes to, yeah, it really is also a modern concept for those characters.
Yeah, he's got a lot of money. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like my favorite thing we did in Justice League, where Bruce says that line about like when Flash says like, "What's your power?" and he's like, "I'm rich." I always thought that was cool.
Kind of crazy that no one decided to genetically experiment on a Batman. Like make
a Batman.
Yeah, but for another version of Batman.
So
Like,
yeah, there's a
take a
version
guy
of that.
and hit him
Man
with some-
Bat, of course.
He's like legitimately a scary looking thing. You know, he's just like standing there, and you're like, "Holy shit!"
He's
Like,
talking
dude,
about the Frank
chin
Miller
is
version.
so insane.
The Frank Miller version of Batman, and he's saying how he would love to direct that version of the character. Even though he sort of took inspiration from it in BVS, he's saying he would love to, if he had to make one more superhero movie, that would be the one to do, The Dark Knight Returns. And I hope he doesn't do it because Frank Miller, not my favorite guy. And I think we just need more classic Batman. More classic Batman is better Batman, trust me. And Nimbus says, I think the only difference in the Under the Red Hood comic is that Jason doesn't take a shot at Bruce in frustration, but I could be wrong as I haven't read it in a while. I think I heard something similar to that. Not sure. Woodcap, Superman's first movie shouldn't have a climax where he destroys an entire city with no regard for civilians. I mean, it's not like he tried to destroy the city. He was trying to save it, but they were doing a lot of collateral damage. That's true. Steven, that Diana killing line was so much cheese. It gave me... I can't read this. That Diana killing line was so much cheese. It gave me a hypertension and how do you even read this? Myocardial in the fractions. Diana has only ever killed Ares in New 52 in her entire publication history. I hate that corny line. And wasn't it even like a accident when she does that? It was a very indirect way of she killed him, but it was she didn't even want to kill Ares in that storyline. That's just the cherry on top of that of what you're saying, Steven. A Far Cry Lego, the three parts killed the three parts killed all the momentum. And then what three parts? Hold on. You guys are talking about JoJo again. I love it when you guys talk about JoJo. Has been 1-to-1. There are some stuff they changed to plot in the anime. I read the manga but not watched the anime yet, thanks to it being split into three parts. Okay, so that's what Steven was referring to. Three parts killed all the momentum. And then Far Cry Lego says Netflix. Netflix ruined Stone once. It killed the hype. That's why they made Dragon Ball Z Kai. Oh, Nimbus says the original dub of Dragon Ball Z butchered the dialogue from the manga and ended up ruining some arcs and a lot of moments compared to what they were supposed to be. So I get that for manga and anime. Gotta take a sip of water for a sec. Okay. And Nimbus. But some mates are blinded by nostalgia and prefer the original, which I hate. Yeah, that happens. People just have a soft spot for the old dubs, and it can be I guess misguiding them in a lot of ways. Nostalgia is like a powerful weapon for sure. Sir Deed Soul, I think Wolverine is probably one of the best examples of a character that kills done right. He constantly fights for his humanity, but is also willing to do the dirty work that others won't. I think, and even then, he has a great list of villains, better than Diana's for sure. I think the struggles and arcs he goes through are some of the best with these types of characters. Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and what makes it so good is that it doesn't always have to be about the no kill rule. You can have all these different dilemmas in the moment, and it doesn't just have to boil down to will I kill him, will I not kill him. Sometimes you can put something in there narrative wise that's going to put something else at stake, perhaps your romance, perhaps your identity, your secret identity, perhaps your psychology, like from that perspective, psychological identity, your ego. There you go, that's what I meant to say. There's like so many things you can approach with it, so it doesn't really even have to be killing. So again, Snyder doesn't even have to go there. There are so many ways of doing it, but it comes down to being lazy. And I think somebody, I think it was Nimbus, says something about the lazy comment. And that was too far up, I guess. I lost it. It was like a short remark about the lazy. I don't know if you were referring to me though. Yeah, okay, we missed it. But it was there. Okay, let's see. So, Steven, oh, here comes the old head. Joe Rogan, Superman is a goofy name. You know what? It sort of is, but it's a play on the Ubermensch name. So again, he's missing some of that historical context. Joe Rogan's interviewing has been in decline, but still better than his MMA commentary and much better than his current stand-up. But it's like Power Girl. That's kind of like a lame name, right? But sometimes it very much is about the cultural of it all. That can really change the context of it all and change the way something sounds. And so I guess for somebody who doesn't have that sort of background or has not been a fan of superheroes growing up, perhaps like saying saying to somebody like Superman. I mean, that makes sense. Joe Rogan is like a very simple guy. There was this hilarious green text of him that I saw once, and it was hilarious. It portrayed Joe Rogan as a caveman, and I recommend you guys go find it. The 4chan post of Joe Rogan being like this caveman trying to understand the world was hilarious. Sir Diesel, she also snapped Maxwell Lord's neck, and that was like a scene that's something I would support too. Except Superman being shocked at that. Again, that was stupid. Like, just trying to make Wonder Woman stand out just because she can kill someone. I think that's stupid. And everyone else looks shocked around her. It's ridiculous. I prefer the sub and the manga for Dragon Ball Z. And we did it. We reached the end of the comments, but then there's Twitch. And then once I get to Twitch, oh, okay, good. I was scared for a second. I was like, oh no, if I read the comments on Twitch, then more people will write on YouTube Live.
Cowl, I mean, look at him. He's like, I took that picture, by the way. He's like legitimately, like, that's Batman to me.
Zack makes incredible photographs. No one can deny that.
I mean, I don't
His movies look stunning.
know, like, what,
because Christian Bale was a great Batman.
He's a great Batman, but he's still like, 5'10". It's cool. I mean, not to be. I'm not
does
being,
mean something.
I'm not being rude
was
about
Batman
like,
giant in the comic books.
In some of the, like, in Dark Knight Returns and in Frank's comics and, like, in the classics, he's pretty big dude. He's always been pretty thick. In Dark Knight Returns, if you look at Dark Knight Returns, like, there's a line like where he's trying to hold someone's gun and his finger can't get in the trigger guard because he's so big. Like where he's like, I like things like that, like where you're just like, he's like, he has this genetic like gift of just being this big fucking dude. And other than that, his parents were murdered in front of him, and he's also like a billionaire. So like that weird. Like, you want it to not be just one of those things, right?
Right.
It needs to be all of them in order for him to really to do what he can do.
Steven, if Joe had the background information, he'd still make that comment, like when he was clueless as to what Sodom and Gomorrah was about. Leaving Cat Williams a bit nervous as to having to explain it. Yeah, he has his stupid moments, right? Everyone has their dumb moments, especially if you're somebody like Joe Rogan who has hundreds of hours on air. He's just recorded himself. He records himself, I don't know, like every day, maybe every week. And he has so much content that he's bound to say something stupid, and we can't expect him to be knowledgeable on everything. Although when it comes to Christianity, I know it's been kind of like a you could have an entire conversation about his approach to that as well. Nimbus, do you think it was an overreaction from Bruce to disown her as a friend basically at first after Diana snapped Lord's neck? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, again, it's like how many superheroes kill. It's like such an overreaction. Ridiculous. Sir Diesel, no, that sounds like something Batman would do if he didn't approve of someone's actions. Well, would he? Okay, that you can say that about anyone. If I don't approve of somebody's actions, then I would disavow them, or I would disown them. And it's like, okay, what was the action? She killed a man who was going to destroy the entire world. What was the alternative? It's like, would you just let him do it? I mean, it fits his character anyway. And I think the overall thing for me is that it doesn't. I think it only fits his character because it's been twisted that way over time. And oh well, let's finish the poll because it hasn't changed. Let's see what you guys are saying. So 60% say no, but there are exceptions, and then there is 40% who say no killing rule, absolutist. So there's at least 5 people voted, so I guess it's like one person voted for 40. What about the person on Twitch? What about you, Hoske? What do you think? We had some other people watching too, but they eventually left, so it's just Hoske as always, being the active trooper that he is. Nimbus, it's so disappointing that Justice League looked like a Netflix Kickstarter by comparison to Man of Steel and BVS in terms of its cinematography and backgrounds in relation to your comment on Snyder's look. It's because of the video game, it's the visual effects. I think Darkseid looked pretty bad. And then also, but then like the intro of that movie, I think it looked great with the mountains. It looked beautiful. Speaking of which, the Snyder Cut, is this the clip
When you
where he talks
have
about it? No, that's not the one.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
I go, what about this? What if I take this script, I make you a PG-13 version that you can just blast into the world, and hopefully as many people see it as possible.
Oh no, he's talking about Rebel
and then
Moon
you
here, sorry.
let me.
Or is he?
We were like, what do you want us to cut out? And they were like, well, we just don't like the idea of Batman fighting Superman. I'm like, I can't take that out. That's the movie.
Okay, he's going to talk about the Ultimate Edition, so I guess this is the
The Joe
Snyder
Rogan
Cut.
Experience.
I go, what about this? What if take this script, I make you.
By the way, let me know if you want to kind of go back to the game in a bit. We will do that, but let me know if we're kind of overdoing Zack Snyder stuff. I think he's going to talk about cool stuff here.
PG-13 version that you can just blast into the world, and hopefully as many people see it as possible. And then you let me, as a bonus, you just let me make this version exactly as I think.
So he's talking about Rebel Moon.
And they were like, okay, that sounds cool.
Talking
So
to Netflix.
coming at the end of the summer, you'll see my 2 3-hour versions of Rebel Moon that are like hard R-rated, the hardest,
What you wanted to do.
which I exactly wanted to do. So they said, yeah, go do that.
So here he's
And so
talking
they-
about the Rebel Moon thing. I'm going to skip that since it's kind of like Rebel Moon. I think his entire approach of, hey, let me do this R-rated cut and let me release this later, I think that's kind of stupid. But let's get to Zack Snyder Cut, the Snyder Cut.
And so that was how I've always done my director's cuts, always as a response to what the studio was telling me couldn't be in the movie. Because I never planned. I would always go into it like bright-eyed, like, oh, everyone's going to love this. Including, the studio, when you see my cut, you're going to think it's amazing. And they would like look at it and go like, bro, like no, like this is too much. And so that's where my director's cuts kind of as a practice were born. It was born out of that, me needing to show the world what I intended originally. And so, by the time now that I've got to Netflix with this Rebel Moon movie, and my sort of the mythology around my director's cuts was kind of a thing, especially with Justice League, as you can imagine. They were like, you know what? Why don't we do a director's cut as part of the process rather than as a response to it? And I was like, that's really smart. Like, that's really cool because in a lot of ways, I totally get the economics of making a PG-13 version. The cool thing about TV is they have TV 14 and then it goes to TVMA. TVMA literally has no top on it. Like I think it's like almost like porn is TVMA.
Is
No, like,
there?
I don't know what I look. No one understands the ratings. No one does. It's an alchemy that is impossible to know.
It's all subjective.
It's all
right?
subjective and bizarre, and so and they also it's genre related, right? So like, say for instance, the ratings board might say something like, well, this is a sci-fi movie, so it's.
As an amateur filmmaker, his comment on experience with the studios is depressing. Haha, but expect this, says Nimbus. And he kind of also, I cut it out, but he did say what the origin of the director's cut was, and he did say that it was it was almost like a second life for a movie too. Back then when you had home video, stuff was coming out for like VHS tapes or DVDs, a director's cut would be like giving the movie a second life and then additional incentive to make money off of a movie, and that's why director's cuts came out as well, why they were popular at the time. And they were all the stuff that the directors really wanted in the movies. And now in this day and age, he has shifted to, well, the meaning of director's cut is no longer about kind of giving a movie a second life. Now it's very much just about showing what the director intended. So they're not as, I guess, not as popular as they used to be, which is kind of true.
It's too much. But if it was a horror movie, it'd be fine. But it's a sci-fi movie, so it's not fine.
It's like, I think of Taika Waititi. He directed like 4 hours of Thor: Love and Thunder footage, but then he said that he cut the movie down to like 2 hours. And if somebody asked him if they're going to see a director's cut, he said, "No, I just I directed all that and I shot it, but the 2 hours that's in the movie, that's all I ever wanted to show." So yeah, you just see that less of today with the director's cut thing.
Or it's a superhero movie. That was the whole thing with Batman versus Superman. I remember the ratings board said, "We just don't like the idea of Batman fighting Superman." I was like, "Well, what is that? Like, but what? How is that your opinion? Like, how is that? That has nothing to do with the rating."
The
you know?
ratings didn't like
They
that?
kept saying like we want it. They kept making it an R. They kept coming back with an R for us, and we were like, "We really? What do you want us to cut out?" And they were like, "Well, we just don't like the idea of Batman fighting Superman." I'm like, "I can't take that out. That's the movie."
That's so ridiculous.
Even Warner Brothers knew that they didn't want Batman fighting Superman. So it was really just Zack Snyder being ridiculous. So even Warner Brothers knew. They're total normies. They don't know anything. They didn't know about World's Finest. But even they understood this basic concept of heroes acting like heroes, and that superheroes should usually just team up. Usually that's what it should be about. And that's starting out a movie with Superman fighting Batman as your first time you're ever going to see these two characters interact on a big screen in live action. Even they knew, even they had the basic knowledge of just being able to tell you that it's going to be cringy if it's going to be them fighting. But Zack Snyder, again, he had to do his own thing. Oh boy.
Ridiculous that they would have that kind of power.
So it was crazy. So we really had to trim it super. It's.
Do you think that affected the final version?
I mean, if you see the director's cut of Batman vs Superman, it's much better. It's a much better movie.
No, it's not.
It's a much better movie.
It's not. It's just got, it's got more scenes that give you more context and explain some of the inconsistencies. But the movie itself is still garbage. I'm sorry.
Well, it's representative of what you actually wanted to create.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sir D. says Zack is a hardcore comic fan compared to Taika. Agreed. But I guess we can give him that.
And I think that's true of all the director's cuts that I've done, is that it's just a glimpse into the why, that you get to see better the why of the movie, the why of its origin, because like obviously something kept me awake for 2 years writing. Something kept me jazzed about like, fuck yeah, I can't wait to do this. I draw for Rebel Moon, like I drew 3,000 storyboards for that movie. Like that is like a lot of work, That's
a lot of work.
To like, you got to care. That's 5 months of drawing after I've written the script.
Wow.
So I've written the script for a year and a half, and then I draw the movie for like another 5 months.
Wow.
It's fucking insane.
Oh my God, you must have been going nuts.
Yeah,
You must have been missing Fortnite.
Yeah, that was before Fortnite. If I had by the way, it's a good thing I didn't have Fortnite, because I would have like
It would have ruined everything.
The problem with writing and for me drawing.
Okay, so that was that. I thought he was going to say something about the Snyder cut.
We were like, what
Maybe
do you want
it's
us to
here.
cut out? And they were like,
If not,
Napped, and I went to work, and I worked for a couple hours, and
oh no, it's gonna be fine. I think I can make it up on the day, and it'll be good. And I do make it up on the day, but the truth is,
if it's
that
not here, we'll
process
just
of drawing
end it
is
here.
the process. It satiates that desire a little bit for me.
it gives them a framework too. There's like
We were just talking about the other day, like one of my favorite sequences in any movie I've made is the birth sequence of Dr. Manhattan. The whole thing with
Okay.
give a fuck.
obviously.
Yeah.
Like
They're
he
talking
walks
about
around
Watchmen
like that.
He's a
now.
god.
He's a god. Like, what the fuck? You can't deal with it? Get the
Yeah.
fuck. Like, I'll fucking vaporize you, or I don't even care.
Okay, who cares about that? Oh, they're watching the scene?
That's
What?
good. Yeah, that's that. It's cool. It's Philip
Okay,
Glass
let's
did
watch
the
this.
music, right? We borrowed the music because I had heard that music and I was like, it's got to be this music. And we tried to like Tyler Bates, who's an amazing composer. He tried. I go, write me something that's better than this, and we just couldn't do it. So we just had to license it from, and I had to send Philip Glass the sequence, and he watched it and he said, okay, it's cool. You can have the music.
That's so cool.
Yeah, because it's like, it's just so,
Yeah,
so,
play this. Play this.
it's just so
I
rad.
love this fucking scene.
Hear this. That's Philip Glass, this music.
When he knows he's fucked.
We built this giant oversized watch for those shots. That's good. Yeah, that's that Philip Glass. So good. That music is
That
crazy.
fucking birth scene is insane.
It's so good.
It's
It's
so insane. It's so good.
It's
The
so fun.
skeleton in the hallway with the muscles screaming. Oh my god.
I remember shooting that exactly like.
Okay, I guess it's not in this. Too bad, so
When
sad.
you have a
Something else.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
But it's interesting to see when there's like such a
Yeah,
strong
okay, I guess.
reaction to certain things.
Batman.
out
That's
there.
why the Trinity.
Okay, yeah, that's it. That's it for Snyder. There's also something else he talked about. All right, so I think we can go back to the game now. Let's go back. Let's do one more level, and then close it off for today. And I'll read your comments in the meantime. Ah, yes. Let's turn back the music. Nimbus, think of Taika Waititi. I'd rather not. And Sir Diesel says, okay, we're here now. Oh, I feel like this map is going to be big for whatever reason. At least he cares about the source material. I guess it's better for him to care than not, which is, again, oh gosh. Which, yeah, of course it's better. Oh, this is not gonna end well for me. I forgot to even save, which I should do now. Whoa, he's invisible? Crazy. These guys are crazy. I should have just shot the barrels, right? What's up with the armor? What is it even for if it's not gonna do anything for me? You know what? Hold on. I'm trying to shoot the barrel. Come on, barrel. Work with me, barrel. Oh, they died. Good. Good. Oh no, we have 8% health? Are you kidding me? It's over for us. I need health. Here we go. Yep, the armor holds you a bit with the damage. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I made a huge mistake. Let's go back here. I guess we can. Should we go back to save? Should we? I say we should. Let's see. Let's try this without the... We get it anyway. Good. Oh my gosh, they followed me here. What the heck? What the heck, man? You clown, don't get away from me. And then Nimbus says, I've had so many arguments with my mates on Ragnarok, then them saying it's one of the best MCU films while I say it's trash. It's insane how many liked it. Yeah, a lot of people like it, and that's the worst part. It's like, it's a the whole thing is a deconstruction of the character of Thor. And you know what's the most upsetting part? It's that it just trashes the character, because and not only that, it ruins probably what I would say was the best part about the best part of uh the Dark World is that the stakes were raised, and they just sort of, oh crap, I just killed myself, didn't I? I deserve that. Goodness gracious, I walked into that one. Ah, I deserve that one. Okay. But the Dark World at least had like a great setup for the story. And it set you up for an interesting battle between different worlds, different realms. Again, I'm doing awful job here. I'm playing like a clown again. Dang it, let me go. What a mess. Disaster all over the place. Oh no, this thing's back. Can you let me... This thing is following me everywhere. Can we even make it to the other side? Ugh, barely. Okay, let's go up here. And let's take this. Okay, this sort of saved us, but it's not gonna do us any difference, really. We messed up, gotta say. If we end up failing this, honestly, I'm already kind of glad we kind of played everything. And if we even finish it today with this, that'd be fine. I'd be like, okay, we did a lot of levels today. We did like 4. We did half of what we were supposed to do. Yes, this door is beautiful. Oh, this guy's here. Good. See, I was doing so well in the second try, but then I had to just walk into that stupid... We're gonna walk this way. We walked into that stupid bomb. We're just gonna ignore them, because who cares? Screw them. Let's just go in here. No, we can't? What? How do we progress? Is somebody attacking us? So here's the thing. With Thor Ragnarok, it's a total deconstruction of the character, which means it leaves... The way they do it is that they had something cool with Loki. They could have had an entire 9-realm battle against like all 9 realms, right? And then what happens at the very beginning of Ragnarok? They waste that. They threw all that into the dumpster fire. Oh, there's a candle. How nice. I don't even need to be here. Screw y'alls. They missed an opportunity to tell a huge epic scale Lord of the Rings level fantasy epic where there's 9 realms fighting against each other, and it would have been epic. What? I have a yellow key? What are you talking about? I didn't take it? What? That's weird. And they didn't do that. Why? Because Taika Waititi decided to... Basically, you know, it's like Loki has been waiting to have his power for 3 movies. For 3 movies straight, and he didn't get it. I mean, he got the power. Once he gets the power, and what happens? He kind of cries about it. And he gets immediately exposed. He throws a party in Asgard, and that's it. That's what Loki has done with all that power. And they throw that entire plot point to the dumpster fire for some stupid space adventure, where they make fun of every character and make him look like a Monty Python sketch. And so that's what that movie does. And then it turns Odin into, he kind of just disappears, right? Because the movie was reworked so many times. Oh gosh. I'm trying to shoot the barrel. Oh gosh, this is crazy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're gonna die. Oh no. Yeah, we died. Not gonna lie, I am kind of tired today. We've been playing for like a while plus talking. So I think, you know what, we're gonna do this next time. I'm sorry guys, but I'm just tired. Too much. And plus, don't tell me, no, okay, it's good. I thought I ran into some issues. So here's how we're gonna end this stream. Sorry for that disappointing gameplay for some of you. I'm like we were doing fairly well with that, but then I just had to blow it up. So here's the last thing we're gonna do. It's gonna be similar to what we did last time. We're gonna go over the last two things. The first time, I think. Oh, okay. Parker Lego says. Oh my goodness! Look at my character. He's all bloodied up. Doom guy looks all. Look at him here. Just a bloody man, a bloody mess. I want to show you guys those clips because last time we did Marvel characters, and some of you already know where I'm going with this. But we're gonna go over, and oh, here's the thing. Since Saturday, right, is going to be the one day before Easter, right? Or one day before Easter. The week after is going to be Easter, so I'm gonna take a day off for that time, and I think even Monday, since it's going to be Easter Monday. So with that, it makes me question, like, I wanted to do Red Dead Redemption on Saturday this weekend, and I'll ask you guys in this chat what you think. Should we do should we continue doing Doom, like part 2 of Doom, or should we do the first part of Red Dead Redemption for this Saturday? And take into account that once we start Red Dead Redemption on Saturday, it's going to be a long period before we go back to both games. Whereas if we just went with Doom on Saturday, then, you know, you get a part 2 of Doom, and, you know, that's cool, you know. And I think we saved, right? If we did a quick save, does that count as a load? Let me know, Far Cry Lego. So which game should we play? Which game should we play on Saturday? Because, you know, I kind of want to, of course, I want to start Red Dead Redemption. But if it means starting it on Saturday and then coming back to it 2 weeks later, I think that's just going to be kind of dumb. You said, you have to do it again? It don't save manually? Oh, seriously? What if I do for it to work? Okay, then let's do that. Let's save save. Alright. Cool. Okay, which game should we play on Saturday? And there are two options. Red Dead Redemption. One, of course. Red Dead Redemption. And then Doom. Maybe Doom, then there's not such a gap between starting it and playing it again. I agree. I think that's the best way to go. I don't even know if we need a poll for this. Yeah, let's not do a poll. However, let's just play the clips I want to show you. And we're not going to dwell on them so much since you guys have... I kind of want to... Let's try to wrap this up in like 10 minutes maybe. 10, 15 minutes. There we go. These clips, again, careful for your ears. Your ears are a treasure. It's actually true. Careful with your ears, because if you have... Well, of course I'm not going to blow your ears out, but in general, when you go to like a party or something, just be careful, because if you damage your hearing, then, you know, you're going to be stuck with that permanent hearing loss. You know, some of it is going to recover, but it's still going to be damaged by the end of the day. What a random weird tangent we had. There we go. So we got DC characters as anime versions by AI. Let's go over them. They're gonna be cool. Let's start with Bruce Wayne. Alright. Let's turn off the game, or like the sound of the game. And let's watch this video. So yeah, let's do Doom on Saturday. Cool. Let's turn this up. It again, 90s, 80s versions of characters. Superman looks pretty cool here. Wonder Woman looks cool. I don't know who she reminds me of, but very nice face, like a very soft face. Whereas sometimes it's, you know, she looks angry. And isn't that like the pose she's in? Isn't that like a? I remember Gal having that similar pose. Gal Gadot. That's Gal Gadot. She has a similar pose in one of like her stills for BVS. That sly smirk from Batman perfectly captures the "I've already thought 10 steps ahead" type of character in anime. Yeah, and then he has that smirk, and then he makes that, you know, smirk sound. It's like, yeah. Diana looks cool. The hair locks, great. Agreed. They look, so far, they look better than the Marvel ones, you know, the first three. Flax, look, he looks great, see? This is so much better than the Marvel ones, which were hit or miss. So far, this looks good. See, I think it looks great. Green Lantern looks great. Ooh, cool. Nice. Remember the last time Thor was like this child-looking person, very young? These are much better. Like, they look so on point with the character models. Okay, this is the first one that I don't like because of the blue hair, and her face looks weird. Hal looks so anime there. Hell yeah. Steven says, I want to watch an anime about that version of Hal. Joker looks sick. See, like these are so much better. But once you get to the Harley, I think we're gonna regret that. Look at her neck; it's so long. Kind of makes sense. Okay. Green Arrow. I guess this one's also kind of a misstep. Like, what's up with his hat? Oh, that's some stylistic choice he's got. Odd. 2 misses so far. And this one, look at this one. It's cool. I like it with that little glimmer in his eye. That bliss. Suits Nightwing. Batgirl. What's wrong with her hair? And look at this. They used Stephanie Brown as a reference, but then it ended up going with Barbara. Poor Stephanie. Never gets enough love as Batgirl. Or even just the character as a whole. Was she always this weird? The way Tom King writes her, she's this quirky, crazy character. Has she always been that way? I don't think she has been, right? There's no way she would have been like that as Batgirl, right? Even as Robin, I assume she wasn't like a crazy person. Far Cry Lego says, I guess Harley was based on Robbie version. True, probably. Nimbus says, I don't believe so. Well, let's see. Hold on. Yeah, the face is just weird. It reminds me of somebody who, like a hooker who smokes a lot and got lost in a warehouse, I guess. Never trust Tom King. Agreed. Aw, cool. Look at Robin. He looks so good. His R symbol is kind of messed up because it's AI, but it looks great. I like it so far. And it looks more like a mix of Dick, Tim. No, actually it kind of looks like a mix of Tim, Jason, and Damien. More of a mix of Dick and Jason. There's Captain Marvel. That's the way he should be called. Of course, not Shazam. Let's stop with that stupid name. Oh, that's weird. He looks like the Green Goblin. Closer to the Green Goblin from Marvel than the anime-fied version of Green Goblin from the last video. Steven says, no, she hasn't been like that before. She was kind of goofy-ish with Tim and times, but not like how Tom King has him or has her. Yeah, she's totally out of it, really. Her mind seems like it's damaged, and she has some kind of brain tumor that's been very concerning for the rest of the Bat family, but no one seems to care about it, really. Martian Manhunter looks like he'll what? It's covering up. He will kill you. Dang. Catwoman with blonde hair because of Michelle Pfeiffer. That's where he got it from. Okay. Cyborg. No. What did you do? Okay, I know Sir Digital will like this one for sure. It's his favorite one. I mean, his favorite female character right here. Tom King's writing has to be a form of CIA demoralization. True. Do not underestimate that. How come Hawkman looks like Hawkgirl? I don't know. Just looks like Hawkgirl. I guess we're getting to some of the bad ones now. It really has to be a form of CIA demoralization because... Or I think he's also insane. I think something about CIA changes you on the inside. And he's just totally lost it. Cyborg looks like he's ripped from a discount sci-fi anime. Isn't this? And Jon Stewart, he looks normal as you would expect him to look. Very soft on his face, but that nose saves him. Batwoman, okay. Why is she even here? Let's get her out of this. Oh, that's an interesting design for the Red Hood. I wonder what you guys think about it, especially Nimbus, since I think you're like a... I don't know if that's official, but I think you are. And you might not even admit this, but you are a Red Hood fan. Something about Jason, you like him a lot. Nice. Zatanna looks great. Hawkman looks like a character from Saint Seiya. I don't even know that one. Nimbus, why does Red Hood have the fringy mask? Haha. He looks okay, says Far Cry Lego. Riddler looks insane, like he's on some sort of... Oh no, that's not Two-Face, I'm sorry. Too glamorizing. No, too soft. I'm a Jason fan, yeah. It's a unique look. I like it as an alternate approach. Poison Ivy, okay, we see you. No, that's a bad one. For Deathstroke, that's bad. You have to have half black, half white, half a yellow, orangey, yellow face. I guess it's orange, really. Lex Luthor looks as you would expect him to look, although his like, what is... It looks like he's wearing a mask, you know? His forehead looks like it's about to come off. Oh wow, Two-Face is terrible. Yeah, it looks like something out of like Ruby from Rooster Teeth, which I did not watch, of course, thankfully. Darkseid looks like something familiar, not a Transformer, like something in between, like I don't even know. Deathstroke looks more like Deadpool. Hmm. Black Adam. I like his design, although I don't know what the cape is in the background. It's like a jacket, I guess. His face looks cool. John Constantine, that's a pretty close one with an earring. Okay. Darkseid looks like a Voltron villain. There you go. Pretty close to Transformers. Darkseid looks like a Gundam or something of the sort. Starfire. Her skin is not very orangey. Raven. I like how they just went full goth mode on this one. Blue Beetle. That looks more like something like the original Blue Beetle would wear. So Dan Garrett, not even Ted Cord would wear this. This looks like a Dan Garrett's outfit for sure. Sailor Moon edition. Yes. Starfire. Yes, yes. Booster Gold. Yeah, that works for him, I guess. Vixen. I mean, does not really look like her aside from like the typical outfit she wears. Okay. Firestorm. That one is totally out of whack. What does this remind me of? Like a Johnny Test? I don't know. Human Torch, I guess, with Cyclops' visor, because Cyclops had a very similar visor from the last episode, in the last video we did. Mr. Freeze looks like Megamind. Steven says Vixen looks like kind of vivacious. Vivacious, ooh. And then Booster Gold, Nimbus says, looks like he was crossed with Doc Brown from Back to the Future, too. Yeah, Mr. Freeze is definitely Megamind. Whoa. Is that like a combination of a Bionicle plus that one character from Bayonetta 2? Okay. What happened to his teeth? Dang. Bane. Looks like he's wearing that reverse Professor Zoom mask. Sorry, not Professor Zoom. Zoom from the Flash TV series. He has that weird mouth on him design. That's what it looks like. Steven says that Dr. Fate looks like a Temple Guardian. And then Parker Lego says Lobo looks like a 90s anime character. And then Steven says, dang, Lobo is British now. Lobo looking like the next member of Kiss. Brainiac looks like the Riddler. Really? Ooh, that looks like Insect Man. Really, Ant-Man from... There was like the second Ant-Man as well. I don't remember his name, but he looks like him. Not Eric O'Grady, not Scott Lang. Oh, I guess it was maybe like a version of Scott Lang. Wasn't there like another, like a fourth Ant-Man? I'm blanking on it now. But he had a very weird face. Lane Brainiac, I agree. Scarecrow, nice face. Cheetah, I guess like a friendly... I don't know if that's a friendly version of her. Just a more human version. Ra's al Ghul, oh, his nose, his mustache. How wonderful. Not even 19 seconds. Sinestro, what happened to his skin? Nope, this ain't it. Clayface, looks like a killer croc. Like the texture of his skin looked like killer croc. Doomsday, okay. Yeah, that's definitely not Doomsday. And that's it, okay. Which ones were our favorites? I think it was Batman, like the entire main 6, and then Joker, Robin, Nightwing. Those were my favorite ones. So the main 6 from the Justice League, especially Hal and Aquaman. Joker looks great, and let's see, Nightwing looks great. Damian, or I guess his costume does sort of resemble Tim Drake now that I look at it, and Robin. And then the rest is like, okay, just add-ons, I guess. John Constantine and Blue Beetle for Dan Garrett. And the rest is like a miss. It started off strong, but then it kind of lost itself near the end. Sinestro got that Vegeta's widow speak. Alright. So that's what we're going to end on. You can let me know which ones are your favorite. We kind of have like a normal latency today, since I forgot to keep the low latency on for my YouTube stream, so there might be like a slower, like a bigger gap. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming up, and you can let me know which ones are your favorite. Zane Asgar is the Ant-Man you are talking about. Perhaps, hold on. Zane Asgar, Ant-Man. Yeah, you are on point. Exactly, him. He constantly gets forgotten. Alright, in that case, again, the latency is a little bit different today. So apologies if I end the stream on somebody talking. But yeah, Saturday we'll do Doom, so that we don't kind of spread out the games too often, so that there isn't a huge gap. And yeah, again, if you just joined in today and you saw what I played of Doom today, and you're like, you sucked, I'm not gonna watch. We were doing an incredible job in the first half. Trust me. I just realized, it's already 3 hours of streaming. I guess it's a good time to end it here. And I wanted to show you guys this clip as well. So yeah, thank you for watching. I don't see anyone else saying anything. So, and thank you, Hosky on Twitch. I see you, of course, yes. As always, same bad time, same bad channel. Saturday, it's going to be a very similar situation, same time. So once more, thank you, and see you then. We'll have more topics to discuss. Bye.